their comments on immigration crackdowns there. Sources tell CBS News that Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are among several Democrats who have been served subpoenas. CBS's Nicole Scango reports.
The subpoenas are a significant sort of escalation in this ongoing battle we've seen between the Justice Department and Minnesota officials who have really clashed amid the crackdown on illegal immigration in the state.
Governor Tim Walz calls the DOJ investigation a partisan distraction. Outrage in St. Paul, Minnesota, after ICE agents walked a shirtless grandfather out of his home in below-zero wind chills.
That's people reacting to Chongley Scott Tao, escorted out of his home wearing only boxer shorts and his grandson's blanket by federal agents.
They just took me out there with no clothes on.
Tao was released after being questioned in an SUV for an hour, and he says,
I don't feel like it's freedom.
But he says he feels better now, and neighbors brought food to his family. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Just hours before he's to head to Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, President Trump stopped by the White House press room to talk about his administration's accomplishments in the first year since the start of his second term. He touted immigration enforcement and lower prices. When asked what he was going to speak about in Davos, Switzerland,
we have the most successful country in the world. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. And this country would have been absolutely stone cold dead. And I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be, because, you know, a lot of them could use some of the advice as to what we did.
U.S. Southern Command says U.S. forces have seized a seventh oil tanker in the Caribbean near Venezuela. CBS's Eleanor Watson reports.
This tanker, the Saguito, was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department last year for being part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, used to circumvent Western sanctions. The Department of Homeland Security led the seizure with support from the Marines and Navy, which has about a dozen U.S. ships in the Caribbean, in part to enforce this just over a month-old quarantine.
Rescuers say one person is dead and 4 have been seriously injured in a commuter train accident near Barcelona. It comes just days after a collision of 2 trains in southern Spain that has left at least 42 people dead. In an Albuquerque courtroom, actor and director Timothy Busfield appears for a detention hearing on child sex abuse charges.
All right, let's go on the record in the state of New Mexico versus Timothy Busfield, D202 PD 2026.
Busfield's wife, actor Melissa Gilbert, is among the witnesses. Busfield is accused of sexually assaulting a child on the set of a TV show, The Cleaning Lady. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS Mornings on the go on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, 2 Seattle schools shelter in place over reports of ICE activity. But first, Nate Connors is at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Seattle Sports has our update. Let's start north and head south. Up in Everett, South 5 just past Broadway. That right lane remains blocked by maintenance crews. We've got a brief backup at the seam. Eastbound 526, you're still packed leaving the Boeing plant, but you're going to clear out by the time you hit Evergreen Parkway. Seattle to Everett will take you 50 minutes. A good chunk of this drive time is stuck right here at the Revive I-5 back up in Seattle. Bellevue to Everett, 40 minutes with building volumes between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Nothing too heavy. South 5 at Midspan on the Ship Canal Bridge. We've got a new collision blocking 2 left lanes. This is right before the 520 exit. You're backed up right now, bumper to 80th. And then South 5 just past Albro Place toward the north end of Boeing Field. We've got a stall blocking the left general purpose lane. That's got you backed up to I-90. On the east side, South 405, we're packed from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to 112th. Bellevue to Renton, a 25-minute drive. And Renton to Puyallup already at 45 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granildo. Reports of federal immigration agents in Seattle's Beacon Hill neighborhood prompt 2 schools to shelter students in place. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live with the latest. James.
Aaron, those 2 schools include Cleveland STEM High School and Kurosi Middle School. Neighbors say word began to spread this afternoon about 1 o'clock that ICE agents were conducting operations in this area of South Seattle. I first heard about it on the neighborhood app, but one school official told me it was more than just rumors. Someone had actually spotted agents, and so out of an abundance of caution, both schools locked their doors and went into a shelter in place. Now, so far, we haven't heard about any agents engaging with the public, but whenever they're in an area, people get nervous, as we've seen in other parts of the country. Live in Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. Now, a state bill to ban federal law enforcement from wearing face masks while on duty is working its way through Olympia. Senator Javier Valdez of Seattle says he drafted that bill after watching ICE and border agents.
Seeing law enforcement officers throughout the country bringing intimidation tactics and causing fear in neighborhoods, in our families, and our communities.
Now, Pete Serrano is with the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Washington and tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red he's opposed.
Transparency and public safety are not the true intent of this bill. It's to unmask and make doxing easier.
The bill recently passed out of the state's Senate's Law and Justice Committee. Kent police are trying to find a hit-and-run driver who hurt a 15-year-old boy last month. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Police say on December 2nd, just before 7 a.m., the boy was walking to his bus stop when he was hit along Southeast 232nd Street, east of Park Orchard Elementary. They say the driver stopped and offered him a ride to school, but when the boy asked for an ambulance, the driver took off. He ended up needing wrist surgery, as it turned out. He describes the vehicle that hit him as a dark gray Toyota SUV and the driver as a black woman in her 50s, about 5'6", with a stocky build. He says she was wearing a head covering. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Now to your forecast. We are seeing mostly clear skies and temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Morning fog again tomorrow, and then more sunshine. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KOZI, good morning to everybody. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning, and let's go to the phone lines for our first caller. Line 1, how you doing this morning?
Dude, you got the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Drop down, snap. And then after that, you just drop in, just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
Glad that guy's bothering Rye over there. All right, here we go with the John Curley Show. Joe's back.
Hey.
Took the day off. What'd you do? Get high?
No comment. Very productive. Get your cheeks ready.
Get what? Huh? What was that?
Get your cheeks ready.
Get your cheeks ready. That's not supposed to mean. Show's already off a bad start.
That's what we do.
Let's honor KOZI on the beginning of the show. Okay, here we go. Joe was cursing the whole pre-show. We were getting ready, but why are you all nervous? What was your problem? I was looking over you like, duh.
I think I was laughing.
No, you didn't like how long press conferences take.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Trump's surprise appearance at the press conference this morning, which added 90 minutes to it.
I got to tell you something. I know there's a lot of people that love Trump. Good. I'm glad you listened to the show, but you gotta give us that he's a little off on the rails right here. I forget the name of the prince. But he thought, I'm not saying this is like Trump at this point, but he thought at some point he was made of glass. The prince did. So he asked his servants to produce a coat of arms or something he could wear, so that if you put it on, he wouldn't break, because he really thought that if you touched him, he would shatter into a million pieces. And the weird thing is, people, the servants, the people of the town, the folks that he was sort of ruling over, knew this about him. And they're like, have you heard about the prince that thinks he's made of glass? They're still okay with it. I guess they were okay with it. But at a certain point, you start to wonder, is this guy okay? I mean, that letter that he wrote to Denmark, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kooky.
A little kooky. Maybe it's all part of a strategy. I don't know. All right, here we go. What are you doing? Is it really bothering you? What is that?
Piece of wax tape?
Something? I don't know what that. Thank you, Joe. All right. Let's see. Oh, Joe said this is all the news. By the way, Andrew, in the meantime, you look up the prince that thought he was glass. I forget the guy's name, but All right. I was thinking I'm going to encourage everybody to get it on.
Oh, my. You want to know who it was?
Yeah, who was it?
AI says King Charles VI of France.
Of France, yes.
Known as
Sorry,
Charles,
I was doing an English accent. I should have done French accent.
Charles the Mad.
Yes, Charles the Mad. I should be known for that. Hi, I'm Charles the Mad. Vote for me. Let's see. Oh, day in history. Is this the day that he actually did it? Got on stage?
Yep.
Wow.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Was it an accident?
So he says.
1982. All right, listeners, YouTubers, 1982, on stage. Was it an accident? What am I talking about? 1-888-973-5476.
Wow, that's a tease.
Thank you, gassy lady, and thanks for holding back on the poopy. There we go. Boy, it was a great song back in 1986. Everybody was jamming to it. I looked it up. The history of the song.
I had never heard this before, by the way.
Give me a little teaser for it, Joe. You got it?
Yeah, hang on. Hold please. I
gotta
pull up my stuff here, right?
What if they're going to sing it this year?
Ooh, I doubt that. Okay, here.
It's a good song.
What is up about me? We hit a ram it, you see. If you ram it just right, you can ram it all night.
There you go. That's going to fit in with my first segment.
Perfect.
The show is perfectly produced. Plus the Trump roundup for you. The 6,000 social posts later. The Wall Street Journal did a breakdown of all the stuff that he promised and all the stuff he delivered. It seemed, pretty balanced. Plus Greenland, boy, they're really going after it hard. Really going after it. If it costs $7 billion, I think that's what they want, something like that.
Who wants?
How much money they want for the thing?
For Greenland?
If it was for sale, yeah.
Is it for sale?
Everything's for sale. Seriously, everything's for sale. If you come along, like if I offer you like $10,000 for a kidney.
If you needed it.
No, not me.
No, not 10,000.
12,000.
Nope.
All right. Eventually, there's a price for everything.
Fair.
Yeah, you offer them enough, you'll be able to buy the stuff. Plus, Trump mocks Europe as a quest for the Greenland. More of this Greenland stuff will take care of all that for you. Plus, Homeland Security rule could empty U.S. stadium seats. Who wrote that? Washington Post. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's scare everybody with that. And also, perception is reality, right? So I saw a poll that just came out. How many people were in favor of what Trump was doing with deportation in July, where it is now, and then I'll give you a clear reason why the numbers have dropped. Because, again, perception is reality. Stay-at-home sons, I have some advice for all of you, and it's, you can probably guess what it is. And this one is the other one that will hit, is that hotels are getting rid of proper bathroom doors and guests are revolting. I would say that most guests that stay in hotels by themselves don't have a problem with it. It's when it's like, 2 people in there. And then it's like, hey, you might want to give it a minute.
Or you might want to leave because you're going to hear something.
I have never, ever used, when I'm traveling with Nick, I've never used the hotel bathroom in the room. I go down to the lobby. It's just the best way to. I ran out of music.
Oh,
I got to start all over again. Okay. Hang on, let me start all over again. All right, this, according to Joe, is the news. No, get to the end here. Let's see right here. Let's see. Carlene Johnson's going to stop by from Center Square. She will be our reporter there, Capitol Hill, letting us know what's happening in Olympia. John for governor. You stuck that in there. Okay.
If we have time.
Should I send you the podcast?
Probably.
Okay, I'll send that over to you. Plus, Katie Wilson orders Denny bus lanes. This is an interesting story that in September, they looked at the bus lane on Denny and they said, gosh, if we do this, it's really going to be a big, big problem for people in their cars. So, and then somebody there on the left was like, well, too bad. Well, then that's the only way to get them out of their cars is to force them out of their cars. We got to force them out of their cars. 98% of people are in favor of public transportation. They want you on the bus.
Can I play a tease for this too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mayor Katie Wilson announced her first executive orders Thursday in Beacon Hill. The orders target two of Seattle's most glaring issues: people sleeping on the streets and buses stalled in traffic.
Okay. What was number 2 again?
Buses
stalled in traffic. Okay. Let me get my notes. Where's my monologue?
Oh boy.
I got it in order. The other day I dropped it, and then it was in out of order. All these papers. Gee whizzigers. All right. I was thinking. I had gone to the old country, back to Ireland in 1998 with Evening Magazine, and I took a detour for a brief moment to go to Galway, where we hail from. The Curleys come from Galway. When I met a butcher there named Curley, I asked, hey, were the Curleys really fun? Were they telling great stories? Were they really good with a joke all the time? No, not really. They were butchers. I was like, okay, nice to see you. Might want to get some teeth. And I spent a lot of time. We did something with the Evening Magazine. I was running around playing this game like field hockey or something with a bunch of kids. I just fell in love with these kids. And I came home and was in the kitchen with Paula. And I don't know how I got around to talking about it, but I ended up sitting in the corner of the kitchen. Paula reminded me of this a couple of years ago. And I curled up in a ball and ended up crying. I was like, I want kids. I just want to be a dad. I just want children. And she looked at me and walked away in silence. We didn't talk for about a day after that. 3 years later, while eating at the Nickerson Cafe, which is no longer there, we were splitting a cheeseburger. It was on our anniversary. It was April 27th. We'd been married for 12 years. And Paula said to me, why are we married? And I said, well, because I love you. And she said, well, I love you too, but that's not enough, is it? She sort of looked at me. And then she said, after a deep breath, you want children and I don't. You've always wanted kids, and I have never wanted them. You thought I would change, and I thought you would change. But when you turn 50, you'll look at me with great anger and resentment, and I don't want that look. So I will give you a divorce. And she was gone within 4 days. And that was it. A few months later, an unplanned pregnancy, and I remember I stood above my wife's head. I was praying, God, please don't let it be a boy. Don't, whatever you do. 9 months later, please don't let it be a boy. Please, please, please. Dr. Baumke there at Swedish delivered the baby. I was like, no, not a boy, because I knew I was a terrible boy. I was a terrible young man. I was a terrible teenager. I was a terrible 20-year-old, 30-year-old. I was just a terrible person that thought I'd never be able to raise a boy. A girl I could handle, but a boy, I don't want my boy to have any of my characteristics. And surely, thank God, it was Charlie O, a girl. Perfect, a girl. But then 10 and a half months later, don't ask me how, I got a boy. So what we did with the first child is we read everything we could possibly read. We wanted to raise this child well. So every book that we could find, we would read. We made their own baby food, mung beans, millet, barley, kale. We fed them only that for 2 years. We never wanted to spoil their palates. We had no salt and no sugar. That was it for the kids. And they would walk around the house eating kale pops. That was ground up kale that we would freeze. And they would offer it to their friends. For some reason, it wasn't very popular with the rest of the kids. We changed schools often. We had homeschooled them for 2 years. We sent them to a charter school, to a small school. We're trying to find the right place for them. And then they were gone. Out into the world where there is a structure that is in place, but it is changing rapidly. The system is set up this way. You have kids, the kids grow up, they go to work, and then they pay for all the old folks, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. Well, we better get working because, you ready for this? 11,500 Americans turn 65 every single day. That is the largest daily number of birthdays for 65-year-olds ever in the history of this country. And while the kids are working so the rest of us can afford adult diapers, it's the transfer from the young to the old. And we need them for two reasons. One, to take care of the older folks, Social Security, all the rest of the stuff, Medicare, right? But then also we need them to buy stuff because we've got to keep the GDP going. So we need to have kids that grow up and become consumers and buy things. And we also need them to start screwing because we did it before. We could do it again. In 2011, there were 7 billion of us. And then by 2022, there were 8 billion of us. Of course, that's because of better healthcare, better medicines, and things like that. It's bleak now. The 10 largest economies in the world have below replacement numbers. That's not good. Often you don't come back from that type of birth rate death spiral. Within 3 years, we will hit the peak birth rate in the world, and then that will be it. So there's 2 ways to look at this. There's some people that say, good, that's good. Less people, less use of resources. You could save the planet. You could save trees, except for rubber trees. We'll need that. And that's not so bad idea. There is another way to look at it is the fact that, well, childless couples will travel more and buy more things like Chewy toys for their dogs. They'll buy more strollers for their dogs. And most conversations will start with, at the dog park today. But that's a bad deal for the old folks because who's going to pay for them? Old people will not be satisfied with pre-chewed dog toys and having at least one of the 3 meals being dog food every single day. So let's have history repeat itself because that's what history likes to do. Let's have kids like we used to have kids for our own personal retirement. Back in 1850, mom would blow out anywhere between 6 and 9 kids because someone had to plow the field. Someone had to take care of mom and dad. So hear me out. If you have 4 kids and each earn, let's say, $80,000 by the time they're 30, there you go. You're all set. They can take care of you. They can put the money aside for you, and then they can be your own little Social Security, your own little Medicare payment. You won't have to rely upon the government. It's worked before, and it could possibly work again. But you're going to need to start sacrificing. Big sacrifices, but not too big. Ready? If you don't, this is in Seattle, if you don't go out to restaurants every 3rd day or every 4th day, like most people do, you save anywhere between $5,500 and $6,000 a year. If you cut back on Amazon purchases, splurge purchases as they're known as, or retail therapy, you'll save yourself over $3,800. So already you're at $9,000. Drive a beater car, have a smaller place, rent or take a roommate, you'll save even more money. And then by the end of the year, you've sacrificed. And you're going to need to learn to sacrifice even more because once you have kids, it's nothing but a series of sacrifices, but you will be well practiced for it, but it is worth it. To listen to my kids' show on Saturday, oh my gosh, it was the best, the best. I waited for the sign off. You have the picture I sent you? So this is the motto in our house. Here it is. There's Charlie. And there's Rye. Be kind, be strong, be funny when you can. So I waited, and I waited to the end of Rye's show. I said, you got to have a good sign-off on your show. And he said, well, for KOZI, I'm Rye Curley. Be kind, be strong, be funny when you can. He said it. I threw my arms up in the air, and I yelled out, I can die now. That's it. I'm finished. I have done the work. I have fought the good fight. I can go. I can go now. And Nick ran downstairs. She said, you okay? I said, I can, that's it. I've done everything I needed to do. I have created a good kid and my daughter, a great daughter. I'm done. She said, you can't die now. You look 15 years younger with my new face.
Maybe next week.
Yes, exactly. By the way, it's still a little swollen.
A little bit.
A little swollen, but it's
getting better.
Do I look younger? Oh, shush up.
Maybe next week.
All right, good. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Everett, we're all clear South 5, just past Broadway, where road work blocked that right lane for a few hours. No longer any backups there. It's North 5 now that's crowded from the Boeing Freeway up to 41st. Nothing heavy. Everett to Marysville, a 10-minute commute. Here in Seattle, South 5, pretty solid backup from 85th all the way down to the Michigan curve, stemming from a couple of earlier blocking issues that have all since cleared. Linwood to Seattle is at 40 minutes. North 5, we're backed up from the West Seattle Bridge to to the Ship Canal Bridge. Our lake bridges are clear. Westbound 520, you're going to jam up at Montlake over to I-5 because of Revive I-5 on the Ship Canal.
That's a good sign-off.
Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 45 minutes. You're crowded between 405 and South 260th. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways up to 50 minutes. Pretty solid from north to south now. Turns bumper to bumper at State Route 18 into Sumner. Otherwise, pretty basic backups across the board right now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Joe's your mic still on? If you plan on selling your house, and a lot of people are just waiting, it's really weird, but right after the Super Bowl, boom, you're going to see so many houses come on the market. Already there's a bunch of homes on the market. If you've been thinking now is the time to sell, you've got to get this guy, Mike Novak. Write it down, Novak, N-O-V-A-K, Mike Novak. Why? Because Novak's going to sell that house of yours because he's got some money on the line. Novak will sell your house in 21 days. If he doesn't, he won't charge you a commission. How about that? Now, he's going to spend 70 times more than the average agent to make sure that your house gets seen and then shown and then sold. That's what Novak does. He out-hustles everybody. So if all the houses on the street and down the street have a bunch of different signs, if it's not a Novak sign, there's a pretty good chance it's going to sit there longer. But Novak is going to hustle to sell your house. Planning on selling? Good for you. You got to get Mike Novak. MeetTheNovaks.com. That's MeetTheNovaks.com. N-O-V-A-K. MeetTheNovaks.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Matt DeFactor.
President Trump says we have to have Greenland. EU leaders are pushing back.
Former U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Kurt Volker, joins us at 6:15 to sort it out.
From homeless encampments to budgets and social media protections for kids.
Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard breaks down what's happening in Olympia.
Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Well, this is pretty fun for me. Normally, Shannon O'Kelly and I are talking physical therapy, but today we are talking First Mark Insurance. You made the call to First Mark. You took the challenge. Why?
Brock, I was looking for a local agency that I could align with similar values, and they've helped us here at IRG. They shop different plans. They find the best plan for you, the best price, the best coverage, great customer service, and great connectivity.
Did they save you any money along the way?
Absolutely, they saved us money. Obviously, here at IRG, I have several needs in the insurance industry, and they look at those needs A to Z, and they find out what kind of coverage you need, what is the best coverage, at what cost, and they're always looking to save money. And again, it's all about providing my company, IRG, great customer service.
Well, Shannon and IRG, they took the challenge. Molly and I, we took the challenge. Are you confident that your business is getting the very best when it comes to your insurance needs? If not, take the First Mark Challenge today, and it's totally free. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com, your teammate that goes to work for you. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A third school is now reportedly sheltering in place due to ICE activity in Seattle's Beacon Hill neighborhood. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is in that area now. He joins us live. James.
Aaron, as we've seen in other parts of the country, word spreads quickly when ICE agents are spotted in a neighborhood. That's what happened here in the Beacon Hill, South Seattle area just after 1 this afternoon. According to the Seattle Times, 3 schools went into shelter in place. They include Cleveland STEM High School, Kurosi Middle, and Maple Elementary. Now, it's been talked about on neighborhood apps. It's also spread quickly neighbor to neighbor as those agents have been spotted. One school officials told me that there were a lot of rumors, but that they had actually had someone spot these agents conducting activities in the area and started spreading the word. We're waiting to talk to parents now. We'll bring more for you when we have it. Reporting live in Beacon Hill, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. President Trump, meantime, is marking his first year in office, talking about his accomplishments and answering multiple questions on Greenland. CBS's Linda Kenyon has more from the White House.
President Trump spoke to reporters as he prepared to head to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. His effort to take over Greenland has received a lot of pushback from NATO nations, some of whom have said a U.S. takeover could break up the NATO alliance. The president is not deterred.
I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy.
Trump also reiterated why he believes it is important for the U.S. to take Greenland.
We need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown says in his first year in office, he has filed 50 lawsuits against the Trump administration.
Last spring, when we talked about the emerging threats from the Trump administration, I started to call what we were seeing from the Trump administration as elements of fascism. Even then, I could not conceive of how lawless this president would be acting.
Brown says his lawsuits have been able to protect money for public safety, healthcare, and SNAP benefits. Among other programs in Washington, we have reached out to the White House for comment on Brown's remarks. If a traffic camera catches you speeding in Tacoma, expect a larger ticket now. As of the first of this year, the fine increased from $124 to $145. If you're a first-time offender, the city says you could get your penalty cut in half. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here is Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. South 5 into Seattle. We're clearing out pretty quickly now after we cleared a couple of earlier blocking problems. So we're slow from Lake City Way to I-90. Linwood to Seattle has improved to a 25-minute commute. North 5, we're backed up between the West Seattle Bridge and the Ship Canal Bridge, taking you about 25 minutes to clear this. This backup has westbound 520 jammed up in Montlake. Otherwise, our lake bridges are wide open. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute commutes. Bellevue to Renton's a 25-minute drive. It's solid from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Northbound 405 is packed through the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way is a 45-minute commute. It's slow from 405 all the way down to South 260th and Federal Way before you start to break free. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute drive, and we've got a pretty solid backup from north to south that gets really thick at State Route 18. Tacoma to Olympia doing all right at 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Forecast now, we are staying rain-free for a few more days. Morning fog again each day, though, through this week, and highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. Today, we're at 53 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Microphone on. There we go. Home Comfort Alliance when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs. Remember, Home Comfort Alliance. $2,000 off a Lennox heating cooling system, Joe. Ooh. How about that? All right, this day in history. Let's see. What do we got? 1841. Hong Kong secedes to the British. Seems like just yesterday. Buzz Aldrin was born in 1930, if you believe that.
Oh, come on. Hoax.
1942, Nazi officially discussed the final solution.
Bad idea.
1945, FDR, boy, talk about a guy who thought he was king, inaugurated for the fourth term.
How?
Because they didn't have anything they didn't have anything in there. And then they're like, wait a minute, we want this? He's like, I need to stay in here. I got more work to do. I got to continue to waste your money. In 1981, Iran hostage crisis ends. I think the day, they let them go. They let them all out right before Ronald Reagan was sworn in. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, they said it was kind of a screw you to Carter. Anyway.
That ended his presidency effectively, right? Carter's?
Yeah, that was the last part of it. Yeah. 1982, singer Ozzy Osbourne bites the head off a bat on stage. Anybody guess that? Any of those YouTubers out there that are busy typing away at the old Googleating machine?
Yep, several.
2020, the first confirmed case of COVID-19 is found in Washington, in Kirkland. I remember that. There we go. All right, let's do Ozzy Osbourne. People throw a lot of strange stuff on stage. One time somebody threw their mother's cremated ashes at Pink. Harry Styles was pelted with chicken nuggets. There was a prosthetic leg thrown on stage for somebody, a boot. People throw cell phones. Of course, Tom Jones. Was it Tom Jones? Yeah.
Underwear.
Yeah, underwear. A lot of underwear at him. But how about Ozzy? So Ozzy Osbourne, as you know, played... The Paranoid. Does he explain in the David Letterman show what happened?
Kind of, yes.
Okay, so we'll go to that. You ready? So here we go. So Ozzy Osbourne is on David Letterman's show. And David asked him about the famous bat throwing moment.
Let's tell him what you did. Bit the head off a bat. There, I said it.
What actually happened was I get a lot of weird people at my concerts. Like, you know, it's kind of rock and roll, you know. And somebody threw a bat on stage. And I thought it was one of these toy bats. So I picked it up, bite the thing's head off, and suddenly everybody's freaking out because it's a real bat.
So it was, for all practical purposes, a toy bat.
Yeah, but I can assure you the rabies shots that I went through afterwards aren't fun.
No, they're painful, I understand.
Very painful.
Now, but there are other accounts where you bit the head off was it a pigeon?
Well, I was kind of peckish when they had the CBS convention.
Uh-huh.
And there was a pigeon there, so I thought, well, nothing else, bite the pigeon. I mean, the pigeon didn't mind, man, because he had no choice, you know?
Yeah. Ozzy...
There's not a lot lot you can say about that.
I know, let's just...
Colonel Saunders, how many chickens do you think he put to death? He didn't bite the heads up, but everybody else did.
Yeah.
Wow. Think about that. It makes sense. Pink Floyd founder Roger Waters told Independent this.
Your fellow rock star died.
Up.
Yeah. Well,
This guy's nuts. Have you seen Roger?
Oh, yeah.
Whew, yeah.
After he died, you told the Independent, Ozzy Osbourne, who just died, although he was all over the TV for hundreds of years with his idiocy and nonsense, the music, I've no idea. I couldn't give a I don't care about Black Sabbath. I never did. Have no interest in biting the heads of chickens, whatever they do. I couldn't care less, Do you think that was empathetic?
When you're talking to Karen, the widow of said Ozzy Osbourne, you say it sounds as if I was talking to a newspaper.
It's Sharon, not Karen.
The comments that you... Sharon, that's what I said, wasn't it? Sorry, I apologise. Those comments, I'm not denying that I said them. Do I have to like every rock group there ever was in the world, or people who bite the heads off bats?
Do you have to trash him in such a personal way? So soon after he died? I want to play you a clip from when Sharon came on my show, because it really upset her. Let's take a look.
No, I don't want to see it.
But would you like to apologise then for the hurt?
Why does he do this to him? Why does Piers Morgan do this to him?
Piers is insufferable.
All right, here we go.
In conversation. Yeah, of course I will. If I course, not that I have any time for Sharon Osbourne. She's a raging Zionist, and she's accused me of all kinds of things. Because she's part of the Israeli lobby.
Right. Would you like to apologise to the Osbourne family for the way you trashed Ozzy Osbourne in that interview?
Not really.
Have you ever seen him? Have you seen Roger Waters talking about the Jews and Israel and stuff?
I have, yes.
I wonder if he was at that meeting that they had back in 1942. I wish I got an invitation to that. I really do. Well, I got an invitation to that one. It's in my thoughts in the mail. Yeah, Ozzy didn't know it was real. I mean, I'm sure he, eats the pigeon, but...
I can't tell if the pigeon thing is him just, hamming it up, or if he really just...
Boy, if you bite into that thing... And he said that he could tell immediately from the taste, sure. Plus, he said he could kind of feel it moving. But at that point, he's committed to the bit. You just keep going.
Presumably under the influence of something, if not multiple things, too.
Okay. Here's Ozzy Osbourne. You been to a rock show? You ever done that in real life? Bend the horns?
I don't think I've done that.
What's that?
Yeah, you got it.
Hook 'em horns?
Hook 'em horns, exactly.
What's this one?
That's shaka.
What's that one?
Hook 'em horns. Or,
I just
devil horn.
All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Yes, sir. We've got a demonstration underway this afternoon. Left Capitol Hill and is making its way through downtown Seattle, headed to the big wheel on the waterfront. Right now, we are monitoring them, and they're headed down the hill on Pine Street and near 8th Avenue. So obviously, you want to avoid this area of downtown because you're going to get stuck behind this crowd of a few hundred people right now. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. Building volumes from Lake City Way through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett also at 55 minutes. Heavy volumes between 520 and 527 in Canyon Park. And then at 527, you're going to clear out. Bellevue to Renton's at 25 minutes. It is solid from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. From there, it slowly thins out, but it's still kind of crowded all the way into Renton. North 405, heavy through the Renton S-curves. Renton to Bellevue, just under a 20-minute drive. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 50 minutes. Again, it's a pretty solid backup from north to south. And Tacoma to Olympia continues to hover right around 45 minutes. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, planning on retiring? Well, good for you. Did you know that retirement will cost you? John Curley here from Madrono Financial. Retirement isn't just about income. It's about avoiding the big mistakes and blind spots that hurt so many. Many are sitting on solid savings, but they don't have a real plan designed for the dynamic and volatile markets like taxes and healthcare inflation. even a reasonable growth, those three alone can just wreck your retirement plans if you ignore them. You want to gain knowledge, learn how to turn your money into a system that supports you in good times and bad times. Matt Beyer and Madrona Financial CPAs. They have got a free virtual retirement planning workshop. Don't miss this one. It's going to be on Tuesday, January 27th at 6:30. You can watch from the comfort of your own house and make sure your spouse is there as well. You're going to learn about complete retirement plans, what they look like, not just the portfolio. And you don't want to miss this. You can call. You can set up an RSVP. They'll send you an email with a Zoom link on there. Again, it's going to be on Tuesday, 27th, 6:30, online Zoom. This is going to be so easy for you and so full of information. You can ask questions as well. You can sign up at madronafinancial.com/events. It's free. RSVP. 833-673-7373. That's 833-673-7373.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Trust and Will.
My dad and I were always close, but some things we just didn't talk about, like his will. After he was gone, we found out he didn't have one, and it created a lot of stress during a time of grief.
Creating a will can be hard to think about, but avoiding it can lead to greater difficulty for the people you love. That's why Trust and Will makes estate planning simple. Create a will online in as little as 30 minutes.
Now, I have a will in place to make sure my loved ones are protected. With Trust and Will, it was easy and affordable. And I got peace of mind knowing my wishes are clear.
Trust and Will.
Get 20% off when you visit trustandwill.com/plan. That's trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Be there when the Seahawks make history. KIRO Newsradio's giving away 2 tickets to the NFC Championship game.
Oh my word!
Sunday against LA at Lumen Field.
I can't tell you how pumped I am to see what the 12s bring.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your odds.
This should be fun.
Enter daily now through Wednesday, January 21st. Contest rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
Well, the Seahawks moving on, taking on the Rams. You might have noticed on Instagram and stuff, people start writing like Seahawks songs. Have you seen a couple of those?
I heard one on our during a promo aired on this station.
Yeah, really bad. There was 1986. The Rams, the LA Rams, weren't exactly a great team. I think they finished 500. But for some reason, somebody there at the Rams organization thought, let's do a song. Let's have our guys dance and sing a song. Even though they were like, okay. It wasn't like they're heading to the Super Bowl. Remember, was it the Shuffle? Was that the other one? Was it the Bears?
The year prior, the Bears had a kind of a hit with the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Right. But at least they were in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Right. So then the Rams were like, hey, why not come up with a song? I guess they got the money for it. They sold it as a 12-inch single, and I don't know where it was in the charts. Does anybody remember? Here's the Super Bowl Shuffle.
We're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle.
This is Speedy Willie, and I'm world class. I like running, but I love to get the pass.
This one charted.
I practice all day and dance all night. I gotta get ready for the Sunday fight. Now I'm as smooth as a chocolate swirl. I dance a little funky, so watch me, girl. There's no one here that does it like me. My Super Bowl Shuffle will set you free.
Grammy nominated too.
No.
I'm Samurai Mike. I stop 'em cold. Part of the defense, big and bold. I've been jamming for quite a while, doing what's right and setting the style. Give me a chance, I'll rock you good. Nobody messing in my neighborhood. I didn't come.
Quite rhyme on that one. The little scanning problem.
Looking for trouble. I just came to do the Super Bowl Shuffle. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you.
Okay, there you go. There's shuffling. All right.
Peaked at 41 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was the only professional sports team to have a top 100 hit.
Wow, yeah. Not that there are that many. So I guess the Rams like, hey, if they can do it, the Bears can do it. Let's do our own. Let's see. What should we... Rams, we're going to put the word ram in there. Ram, bam, slam, bam. Lots of things rhyme with ram. Hey, you guys got that song written yet? You got it yet? Yeah, we do. Here it is.
But it's never about me. We're here to ram it, you see. If you ram it just right, you can ram it all night. Ram it. Do you know how to ram it? Let's ram it.
Hey, let's all go to Neighbors.
Let's ram it right now with the LA Rams.
Hollywood handsome, Dodge City tough. If you throw it my way, it's gonna get rough. I like to ram it, as you can see. Nobody likes ramming any more than me.
Somebody call me FCC.
This is limousine Woody, my moves are like dreams.
You see, later on, they're like, it sounds like sort of sexual in a weird way. Maybe we should stop it. It's too late. We've released the album.
They call me the demon on special team. I know how to rock from the toes to the head. When I pull the trigger, I'll knock you dead. Hey,
look at Nate in there enjoying himself. Love it.
Come on, Nate. You know what to do.
Come on, just ram it, Nate. There we go. Taking those guys on, huh?
My cheeks are ready.
Yes.
See?
Okay, here's Nate with traffic on his last day at KIRO.
Okay. Hey, we've got an anti-ice demonstration making its way through downtown Seattle this afternoon. Right now, they're stopped on Pine and 5th there, Westlake Center. The plan is to head 2nd and head south to the federal courthouse before making their way to Alaskan Way and then up north to the Great Wheel. So this will be with us for at least another hour or so, and I'll keep tabs on this for you. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett, both 55-minute drives. North 5 in Everett, a little crowded from Lowell Road, off and on up to 529. Everett to Marysville is a 15-minute commute. Everett to Seattle just hit a half hour. That's it. It's wide open and a little crowding starting at Lake City Way into downtown. North 5, though, is pretty solid approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge due to Revive I-5. Plan on a half hour to clear this. This backup has westbound 520 now jammed up at mid-span. Bellevue to Renton has gone up a bit to a half hour. Pretty solid from 520 down to the VMAC now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I had a friend call me yesterday talking to him. He said, "Hey, that stem cell thing work out for you?" I said, "Good. What's your problem?" He goes, "I got an ankle they're going to have to operate on." It's like, oh, my God. Really? He goes, "Yeah, I'm afraid they're going to have to, weld it together. I'm going to lose flexibility." I was like, whoa, let me save you. I'm not a doctor, although I could play one on television. If you've got, let's see, a bad, like bone-on-bone when it comes to your knees, a hip, elbow, wrist, ankle, knee, shoulder, maybe stem cell be the best thing for you. And where to go? You want to go to the guy that's done more than 20,000 of these procedures. I had my hip done 12 weeks ago. I'm running again. Thank you, Dr. Mark Wagner. I am running again. This is a 90-minute outpatient procedure. This is the best. If you've been told you need surgery, hold off. Don't get it yet. You owe it to yourself to go see Dr. Mark Wagner. If you got an x-ray, an MRI, whatever it is, make an appointment, go in there and see if a stem cell procedure is right for you. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Be there when the Seahawks make history. KIRO News Radio's giving away 2 tickets to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, my word!
Sunday against LA at Lumen Field.
I can't tell you how pumped I am to see what the 12s bring.
Download the KIRO News Radio app and click the Win tab to enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your odds.
This should be fun.
Enter daily now through Wednesday, January 21st. Contest rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
how would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is heading for Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, where tensions are already high, with Trump threatening more tariffs on European and NATO allies in his push to acquire Greenland. State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott has spoken with CBS News about the administration's foreign policy agenda in Trump's first year.
Well, the president's outlined the rationale very clearly in the sense of the capabilities that we have as the United States to protect Greenlanders, protect the United States, make for a stronger NATO. He's outlined very clearly the importance of Arctic security regarding the encroachment of countries like China and Russia, and also the importance of Greenland when it comes to the Golden Dome and addressing modern threats that we're facing as a country.
President Trump is reflecting on 1 year in office. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest from the White House.
We've had an amazing year.
And that's in part, he says, because of his policies at the border.
It was an invasion into our country of a lot of very bad people.
But some of the tactics used by ICE agents to remove immigrants have been heavily criticized.
All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country.
When it comes to the ICE shooting death of a woman in Minneapolis, the president said ICE has a tough job.
They're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody.
The death of Renee Good in Minneapolis has contributed to nationwide protests against ICE. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Mexico says it has sent 37 more members of drug cartels to the U.S. Our Cammie McCormick reports.
The latest transfer included members of some major cartels. All of them had pending U.S. cases. President Trump has publicly entertained the idea of military action on Mexican cartels, even more so after the U.S. military operation in Venezuela. Mexico's president has said U.S. intervention isn't necessary.
A judge has ordered that actor Timothy Busfield be released from jail during a detention hearing on child sex abuse charges and can leave the state to live at home under supervision until trial. Today's order by a state district court judge in New Mexico is linked to accusations that Busfield inappropriately touched a minor while working as a director on the set of the TV series The Cleaning Lady. It's performances like this, as heard on SNY, that has gotten Carlos Beltran elected to baseball's Hall of Fame.
Beltran hits it deep to right field. Back goes Smith to the track, looking up. It's out of here! Carlos Beltran with his third two-run homer.
Beltran, in his fourth ballot appearance, received 84% of the votes from the Baseball Writers Association of America. Andrew Jones, in his ninth appearance, was picked on 78% of ballots. They will be inducted in Cooperstown, New York, on July 26th, along with second baseman Jeff Kent. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, students sheltering in place amid reports of immigration agents in Seattle. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
All right, our anti-ICE demonstration in downtown Seattle. They just left Westlake Center. The plan is to head to 2nd and then head south to the federal courthouse before making their way to Alaskan Way and then heading north up to the Great Wheel. So this could affect those of you trying to catch a ferry here in the next half hour or so. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both up to 1 hour drives on I-5. A good chunk of this commute includes our Revive I-5 backup on the Ship Canal Bridge. So that 1 hour commute sounds worse than it is. After you cross the Ship Canal, you're pretty clear until you reach Shoreline, where it's crowded through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, we're heavy from between Mid-Bellevue and Canyon Park, and then you'll clear until you hit the Alderwood interchange. Linwood to Seattle looks great this afternoon, just 15 minutes. It eventually gets packed at 520 down to I-90. Now, North 5, pretty solid approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on a half hour to clear this, and this backup now has westbound 520 packed at mid-span over to I-5. I-90 looks great. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes, and Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is up to a 50-minute commute. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to closetsbydesign.com to see current specials or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to learn more. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. 3 schools in Seattle are telling students to shelter in place over reports of ICE activity in the Beacon Hill area. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is there now and joins us live. James.
Aaron, the 3 schools include Cleveland STEM High School, Kurosi Middle School, and Maple Elementary. All 3, according to the Seattle Times, sheltering in place this afternoon over fears ICE was in the area. Now, here at Kurosi Middle School, class let out about 20 minutes ago, but long before that, parents and concerned neighbors like Anna Copley came to the school to let their presence and their opposition be known just in case ICE agents converged on the school.
Just instantly protective mode. I have a couple kids and I feel defensive, like we have to protect these young people and these families.
Now, I have not personally seen any agents, but one school official told me they have indeed been spotted in this neighborhood. Live in Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now the fight over whether to ban law enforcement officers from wearing masks on duty in Washington continues. Pete Serrano opposes that idea. He's with the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District and tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red.
It's ridiculous to pretend like those assaults, those doxing incidents aren't happening, and somehow this is, quote, for transparency.
He says federal agents in his part of the state are facing assaults. The governor's office supports the bill, arguing it would help build trust with the public. How long should police be allowed to keep your license plate data? That is the question state lawmakers are tackling today as they take up the Driver Privacy Act.
I'm Jillian Raftery. Senate Bill 6002 would cut the retention window for cameras like Flock from 30 days to just 72 hours. That's 3 days. Police agencies say the cameras help them track down suspects and solve crimes faster. The ACLU supports the shorter window, though, saying the best way to protect data is to delete it as soon as possible. The bill comes after Auburn found out last fall that federal border agents accessed its Flock cameras without permission. Redmond responded by shutting down its system altogether.
Now to your forecast. We are looking at mainly clear skies for tonight. Morning fog comes tomorrow. Highs will be in the upper 40s. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KOZI, good morning to everybody. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning, and let's go to the phone lines for our first caller. Line 1, how you doing this morning?
This is Tom Brokaw calling. I'd like to see about getting a reservation for Friday night, if it's possible.
Wow.
At 7:30, if you have anything. I know it's late notice, but friends of mine have told me, Peter Jennings said, you have to try that restaurant. So here I am, I'm making a reservation with you, and the last name is Brokaw, 7:30 on Friday. There'll be 3 of us, including Sue Bell.
Wow, it's a whole curly cacophony there, huh? Yes. All righty. All right, on KOZ. Are you allowed to do that? The FCC rules, you're allowed to be mentioning other call letters on the air?
As long as our call letters are correct, I don't think it matters.
Okay, fine, yeah. And KIRO Radio, having nothing to do with KIRO TV.
Nope.
I mean, nothing. We enjoy KIRO TV.
Sure.
We'd be like, oh, you guys work at KIRO?
Confuses many.
Does many. Diving in the door, yeah. Oh, wait, I got a simple solution for the whole mask thing. One, if you don't want the federal agents to wear masks, then when they get doxxed and when people go to their house and threaten their kids, their wives, and themselves, then you have to catch those people and you have to make them accountable for their behavior. Plus, do the same thing that happens in other states, where if you wear a mask while protesting, it's against the law. State of Washington doesn't have that, but other states do have that. That if you wear a mask during a protest and you're out there doing stuff, you can't cover your face. Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Tennessee, Washington, or D.C., and Nassau County, New York has it as well. So if you're out protesting, yes, Joe, quick question.
The Washington bill that's being proposed, that wouldn't have any effect over federal agents, right?
Well, I guess they would say when you come into the great state of Washington, a sanctuary city where absolutely everybody's welcome, regardless if you sodomize a 12-year-old or kill a state trooper by driving drunk. Come on in. I don't know if federal agents, if the state, they'd probably get challenged in court, but, they could try it.
I don't think that this would affect federal agents at all.
Well, what they're saying, the police don't wear masks.
And they will continue not to or not be allowed to if this goes through. But remember, that was part of the reason Keith Swank was all up in arms. He said, if you tell my officers they can't wear masks, I'm going to tell them to wear masks.
But they are allowed. When I interviewed Swank yesterday, they do. There are carve-outs. Like they're allowed to wear masks if there's tear gas. They're allowed to wear masks if there's something else that could affect their health, right? They can wear a mask. But most police aren't wearing masks. No. It's the ICE agents that are wearing the masks.
No, I know, which makes the bill kind of confusing.
Yeah. Well, the state law would all of a sudden say if you're a federal agent, you're coming in, you're wearing a mask. I'll
do some research.
Yeah, find out. Okay. Work on that one, Joe. Okay. Good. Thank you for that. By the way, as long as we're talking about ICE, let's do this. So this is, okay. Perception is reality, right? So if you are just getting stories over and over and over again that show ICE is bad or ICE is good, that becomes your perception, right? We were bombed with stories in 2020, 2021 about how racist America is. Such a racist country, such a horrible country. And when you can see the polling, we're like, is America, striving to become a less racist country in 2016, 17, 18, is skyrocketing during President Obama's 2 terms. Good. There we go. That's great, right? But then all of a sudden we were told, oh, no, we're a horrible racist country because of George Floyd. So then everybody started to believe, because, again, perception is reality. So here's an example. So these are 2 stories, one from Fox, what do you think of Fox, and one from CBS. This is about ICE. I'll play let's do the CBS story first. Here's CBS reporting on a guy that ICE arrested.
Protesters rallied outside of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration offices in Des Moines Friday, stunned by the arrest of public school superintendent Ian Roberts, an immigrant from Guyana.
The general public, I think, is not okay with what's happening.
An immigrant from Guyana. Here is Fox.
Ian Andre Roberts is, quote, a criminal illegal alien from Ghana in possession of a loaded handgun. Roberts was working as the superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, despite being an illegal alien with a final order of removal and no work authorization.
Okay. So you see, that's how Fox sets the story up, but you hear how CBS sets the story up. Here's the close for CBS.
Roberts, a former Olympic athlete, had been well liked by many in the community. And while some are now questioning what background checks were done by the school district,
yeah, maybe they might want to question that.
Others are questioning the motivation behind the arrest.
He was targeted specifically because he won't give access to ICE to arrest our kids. And we are 100% behind him.
He had a deportation order. He's in the country illegally. He has a gun. Okay, here's how Fox ends it.
And so the question is, did he provide a fraudulent social security number and was operating as someone else? And if not, I think there's a lot of questions that school system has to answer. And the question is, are there others there as well?
Yeah, so that's why, it all depends on what you're watching, what you're getting, right? So Trump's handling of ICE survey taken telephone survey. Who's even answering the phone? 39% of likely U.S. voters rate Trump's as good or excellent on the job of handling the issue of immigration. That's down from 45% in July. 49% give him poor ratings on the issue as well. So then you get the stories like today in Seattle, big lockdown because was it confirmed that it was somebody from ICE? No, not even confirmed. All right. YouTube people right there. Speaking of the president, I believe, here it is right here. Again, love him or hate him.
Some say he's a savior, a beacon so bright. Others scream danger, they're ready to fight. Building up walls or tearing them down. A hero, a villain, a king or a clown. Love him or hate him, there's no in between. The loudest of dreams or the darkest of scenes. Making it great or breaking it all. The Trump administration's a wild free for all.
I'll say. Boom. Pa. Here's the presser. The president was speaking earlier today, asked if he's willing to break up NATO over Greenland. He says,
if a consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance, is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very interesting.
The NATO alliance.
So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. At 2%, they weren't paying. At 5%, they are paying. And they're buying a lot of things from us, and they're giving them, I guess, to Ukraine. That's up to them, but they're giving them to whoever they're giving them to, but they're buying a lot. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
Okay, so here's Greenland, Denmark, all part of NATO, and the deal is, with NATO, you attack one, you attack all of us, right? So they're all in it together. So if something were to happen in Greenland, then NATO would come to the rescue of Greenland. So basically, it becomes a moot point, as some people see it. The United States doesn't need to own Greenland, doesn't need to be there. It's included and protected by NATO. So that's kind of the thing. The best move would be if there's 57,000 folks that are living there in Greenland. If 60,000 Americans move there, and there's lots of room and there's probably affordable housing, if they move there, they could then vote to join America. That would be good.
That seems easy.
Simple. Just get over there. What?
Have you gotten to the bottom of what he wants Greenland so badly?
So 10 or 12 years ago, a bunch of Silicon Valley folks were like, hey, get Greenland, one, for the minerals, for the precious minerals that are up there that we could harvest. Plus, we want to be able to launch our rockets from there. And also, what they don't want is what's happening is China's coming into Greenland and saying, hey, let us build this, we'll build that, we'll build all this sort of stuff, and we can help support you. We'll give you a whole bunch of money, we'll do all the infrastructure building.
We'll build your airport.
We'll build our airport. Yeah, they're doing that now, right? So the United States doesn't want China right there, Russia right there, plus also strategically for defense purposes. We already have an Air Force base there. So they're saying you already have enough. You don't need Greenland. You don't need to have that part of the country. You could work out a deal as well that if you want to be able to mine the minerals and get what you want out of there, then you could work that out. But just simply going in there and sort of taking them over, we haven't done that in a while. Nobel Prize?
You told Norway's Prime Minister that you not winning the Nobel Peace Prize made you feel less obligated to think purely of peace.
Well, I lost a lot of respect for Norway. And I believe very strongly that Norway controls the Nobel Prize. You have to understand, I settled 8 wars. I've had
Okay, here. First of all, Mr. President, this is the problem for the challenge that Donald has. He has a very, very small group of people around him. It's the same way he used to run his business in New York City. I had a friend of mine who used to compete against him as a developer. And he said that he's got like 3 or 4 people right in there with him all the time, right? And they're just, they don't want to say anything against him. He goes to them for advice if he doesn't like the advice. But if you go sideways on him, bang, you're out. You missed the deadline. You weren't even in office, and the deadline passed. It's a paperwork problem. Plus, the country doesn't give them the award. Denmark doesn't give the award. The Nobel Peace Prize doesn't come from the country. So that's
and he for what he's talking about, he would not be eligible until next year.
Right.
Yeah, till the end of this year.
Right. That one goes.
No, Minnesota, the crime is incredible. The financial crimes are incredible. And the problem is because of the agitators and insurrectionists, whatever you want, troublemakers, but they're paid agitators and insurrectionists.
That is true.
Nobody talks about the fact that $19 billion at a minimum is missing in Minnesota, given to a large degree by Somalians. They've taken it. Somalians, can you imagine? And they don't do it. A lot of very low IQ people, they don't do it. Other people work it out, and they get them money, and they go out and buy Mercedes-Benzes, and they come from here, they have no money. They never had money. They never had a life. They never had a government. They never had a country, because there's basically no country. Somalia is not even a country. They don't have anything that resembles a country. And if it is a country, it's considered just about the worst in the world. They come here and they become rich and they don't have a job. I was told that Ilhan Omar is worth $30 million. She never had a job. She's a crooked congressman.
Okay, how are you on that one? Somalia is a low trust country, and it's tribal. They have no faith in the government because there really is no government. The warlords run the place. It's steal and steal. Steal from your neighbors, steal from the government, steal from whoever you can steal from, because you got to be able to survive. So in Minnesota, 81% of Somalis are on welfare, 40% unemployed, 10% of native-born Minnesota folks are unemployed, just to give you some comparison. So it's 48% that have lived there speak English less than very well. That's the category they put them into. So there's generally there is a problem when you come from another country and you come to the United States and you bring with you a sort of low trust mentality, and then you bring it into that country, and then you have to assimilate to the country. Are you able to assimilate to the state, assimilate to America, and then become productive members of society within the structure of America, right? That's the problem for immigration. Like, for instance, in Denmark now, they're not letting anybody in from Somalia. In South Africa, nobody from Somalia. United Arab Emirate also not allowing anybody in from Somalia. So, and the United States now is restrictions are in place. I don't think it's necessarily because of what's happening in Minnesota and possibly in Ohio and possibly in Washington State and possibly in California. It's, you are importing the culture that is coming from those different countries. He could be a bit more tactful as he describes it. The biggest problem with Trump is he's living up to the nightmare that everybody believes he is, right? They're able to, sort of slice and dice the words in a particular way, or they take him at face value for what he's saying, and that's where the problem comes in. So as far as they're concerned, he's, Hitler and an authoritarian and a fascist and stuff, and then they see he's sending troops into Minnesota, and he's sending, troops in here and there, and he's got his guys going in and out, and they're like, well, this is exactly what we thought. Well, is he going in there because it's so peaceful? Is he going in there because people are trying to have a worship service in a church, and you get a bunch of paid activists to go in there and disrupt the church? Did you see that video with Don Lemon? Yeah. They think Don Lemon's in trouble for that thing. What a bad interview, if anybody's seen that. Don Lemon asked the guy, what would Jesus do? And that's always supposed to be the killer question. Well, first of all, Jesus would probably have a problem with the fact that you're coming in the middle of a church service to protest. And then when Don Lemon's like, well, what about the First Amendment? Well, the First Amendment says you can practice your religion, right? And yeah, the First Amendment says that the government can't stop you from having freedom of speech. But the First Amendment doesn't allow you to go into a private building, and in this place, a church, and just start bouncing around and screaming and yelling a bunch of stuff, hands up and all this other stuff. Like, that was a direct violation of the people that were just in that church trying to, do a little bit of praying. Now, Don Lemon's apparently in trouble there. They might charge him with the KKK Act. Have you ever heard of the KKK Act?
I had not.
Well, there you go. Now you're getting something new to look at.
What a mess.
Yeah, what a mess.
Come on.
Yeah, but it's good
Come
for
on,
us.
guys.
Lots of news. Look, we got a whole nother page. Yeah. There you go. All righty, here comes Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan.
Thanks, John. Our anti-ice demonstration in downtown Seattle is right now heading south or near 2nd and Pike to the federal courthouse there near Madison before they make their way to Alaskan Way and then head north over to the Great Wheels. So this is going to affect ferry traffic once it gets down to Alaskan Way. North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge, we've got a big collision blocking 3 left lanes. We're solid starting at the north end of Boeing Field, almost back to mid-Boeing Field, really. Once you clear this, it's heavy again between I-90 and the Ship Canal Bridge, so we're struggling northbound through Seattle. And then Seattle to Everett is another 1-hour commute. Again, a good chunk of this commute includes the downtown backup because of Revive I-5. So once you get across the Ship Canal Bridge, you kind of break free right away, a little slowing through Northgate, then it starts to get thick again in Shoreline through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour, heavy between Mid-Bellevue and Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle continues to look great, just 15, 20 minutes max, and you're slow from, we'll call it the Ship Canal Bridge and I-90. Crossing the lake westbound 520, packed from Mid-Span over to I-5 because of Revive I-5. Bellevue to Seattle is a half hour on 520, just 20 minutes on I-90. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 45 minutes, and Tacoma to Olympia has climbed a 55-minute drive. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, how about a simple New Year's resolution that is guaranteed to succeed? I'm talking about reversing hair loss. This is a quick, easy, one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair. It begins to regrow your very own natural hair the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow. So you've got world-class Dr. Alan Perungo, top-rated team there at Advanced Hair. They've been recently crowned 425 Business of the Year. That's the second year in a row for those guys. Here's what happened to me about 13 years ago. I noticed my hair started thin. Said to my barber, what do you think? Yeah, the bald spot's getting bigger and bigger. Your hair's probably not coming back again. I asked for a discount on the haircut. You don't get that. So I thought, I'm going over there to Advanced Hair. So if a fuller head of hair is a resolution that you want, you can have, you can achieve, you can celebrate the new year with a full head of hair. Thanks to Advanced Hair, give you $250 off, 250 free hair graft. You want to just schedule a free consultation at 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Or check them out online at advancedhair.com.
Be there when the Seahawks make history. Hello! KIRO News Radio is giving away 2 tickets to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, my word!
Sunday against LA at Lumen Field.
I can't tell you how pumped I am to see what the 12s bring.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your odds.
This should be fun.
Enter daily now through Wednesday, January 21st. Contest rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
It's the Clearance Savings Spectacular at Olympic Hot Tub. We're slashing prices on hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models. Plus, no interest through 2031. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be
for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Several schools today told their students to shelter in place amid reports of possible ICE enforcement activity in South Seattle and Beacon Hill. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is in that area. He joins us live. James.
Aaron, this all started at about 1 this afternoon in the neighborhoods around 3 schools, including Cleveland STEM High School, Kurosi Middle School, and Maple Elementary. All 3, according to the Seattle Times, sheltering in place over fears that ICE was in the area. Now, school has now been let out, but long before it was, parents and neighbors that were concerned made their way to these schools. They wanted their presence to be known, including Natalia McConnell.
I'm here to protect my community. I heard there was ICE in the area, and I don't want any of the kids at Aki or their parents to get taken because ICE is kidnapping our community members.
Now, as we've seen in other parts of the country, parents and neighbors turned out with their signs. They were ready to face off against ICE, although we never did see them here. They are reported to have been spotted in the area. Live in South Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. Now, the Seattle Times reporting at least 6 schools were under shelter-in-place protocols today. President Trump now reflecting on 1 year in office. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the latest.
We've had an amazing year.
And that's in part, he says, because of his policies at the border.
It was an invasion into our country of a lot of very bad people.
But some of the tactics used by ICE agents to remove immigrants have been heavily criticized.
All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country.
When it comes to the ICE shooting death of a woman in Minneapolis, the president said ICE has a tough job.
They're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody.
The death of Renee Good in Minneapolis has contributed to nationwide protests against ICE. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A year into his first term, Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown is outlining his ongoing legal battles with the Trump administration. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi with that.
Brown says his office has filed 50 lawsuits in 52 weeks in response to what he calls the administration's overreach.
He rules quite often by anger, hate even, and petty grievances.
Brown says those lawsuits prevented the state of Washington from losing $15 billion federal dollars for things including public safety, health care, SNAP benefits, housing, and transportation. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
High praise from the Seahawks' next playoff opponents. The LA Rams head coach Sean McVay says they will need to play almost flawlessly to beat Seattle.
And let's understand, what type of execution and what type of, competitive stamina it's going to take for us to go get the job done against, as complete a football team as there is in this league and as hot of a football team as there is in this league.
Hawks and Rams split their regular season series. Those games decided by a combined 3 points. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, this one brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Our anti-ice demonstration making its way through downtown Seattle. Looks like they opted to pass on the federal building. They have gone straight to the waterfront. They're on Alaskan Way near the ferry terminal, headed north to the Great Wheel. North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge. We've still got this collision blocking 3 left lanes, and it's solid starting near Mid-Boeing Field. And then once you clear this, it's heavy again between I-90 and the Ship Canal Bridge, of course, where we have Revive I-5. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett, plan on 1 hour each. Linwood to Seattle continues to look great this afternoon. Just 20 minutes, it gets heavy at 520 down to I-90. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, right around, a half hour on 520, where it gets really thick about mid-span over to I-5, and that's because of Revive I-5. 20 minutes on I-90. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway will take you 50 minutes. Bumper to bumper in the south end from State Route 18 all the way into Puyallup. And way up north in Ferndale, if you're expecting someone from Ferndale, all southbound lanes of I-5 are shut down at Main Street from a multi-vehicle collision. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. Right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the Comfort People, homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now to your forecast. We'll see clear skies turn to some cloudy skies overnight. Morning fog and some frigid overnight temperatures. Low 30s the next few days overnight. Highs in the upper 40s. Right now, 49 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the Morning brings you the most urgent headlines, the things you need to know before you head out the door. Just like you need that cup of coffee, they'll help you start your day off on the right foot. Live breaking news, KIRO 7 pinpoint weather, and KIRO 7 real-time traffic to help you avoid those back-to-school backups. Check in with KIRO 7 News in the Morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m., only on KIRO 7 TV.
Well said, well read, Joe. Played Paul yesterday. Nailed it. Did you hear for that, Aaron? Did you hear Paul's reading?
He crushed it.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Wow.
It was really something.
Let's go
He
back.
did some voice work, that Paul.
I know. It's really something. It's melodic.
Yeah.
It was, I was drawn in.
Mm-hmm. Captivating.
Yes. Yeah, it really was. Mesmerizing.
You didn't pull that, Andrew? Oh, it's there. I can pull it anytime.
No, we don't need.
I'd love to
That's
hear
not
it.
fair to do to Joe. Don't do that to Joe.
I'm not the jealous
Buggy's Auto Service Centers. You know they got 16 locations. You know they've been around for 50 years. So what are you waiting for? You got 2 choices: take the car, push it off a cliff, set it on fire, fill it with rats. Do what Nate did and ram it. Take it over to Bucky's Auto Service Centers. There you go. Big thumbs up from Nate. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
His cheeks are ready.
Bucky's Auto. No, don't. Bucky's. Hey, you make it up for your KIRO 7 read.
My cheeks are full of broccoli and cheese right now. Otherwise, I'd give you the...
Thank you, Nate, for that. By the way, Aaron could make a recipe out of that if you really wanted to regurgitate some of that. What'd you do with broccoli and cheese that's been slightly chewed on?
Probably make it into soup.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are. Right. Hey, guys, look, there are red lights on. On air.
Floating?
On air.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, on air.
I do not get it.
I don't either, Teeny. All right, let's do some radio here. Stay-at-home kids. Stay at home. So this is Fox 8 reports. Stay-at-home sons. It's a trend.
A new trend is picking up steam.
A trend.
Stay-at-home sons. These young men, dubbed trad sons or hub sons, are opting out of the rat race to take on full-time homemaker duties for their parents in exchange for room and board. A family therapist tells the New York Post that this shift may be fueled by insecurity and instability, with some young men feeling safest under mom and dad's roof in an uncertain world. And
are you really safe? sorry, is my mic on?
Not alone. 1 in 3 U.S. adults age 18 to 34 now lives at home. Experts say it's fine as long as it's a pit stop and not the destination. So could you get on board with being or having a stay-at-home son?
Good rhetorical question. TikTok are arguing the trend is completely normal. What?
Let's just go being Italian or Filipino or Indian. This has existed, dude. This is what all the dudes like, oh, I love my mom, I love my nonna. Like, I know 40 Filipino dudes who still live at home. This is just, it's the normal thing that you guys are just learning about. Also, the economy's follow me, idiots.
That's good. You ever seen Scott Galloway? You ever seen him?
No.
He's making the rounds. Here is his advice to young men.
I tell young men, you have to get out of the house every day and be in the company of strangers building something bigger than yourself.
He does a whole thing on dopamine. He says if you're sitting there at home, dopamine, you're playing video games, dopamine, you're watching porn, dopamine, you're getting all of that. None of it is real, you're not engaging, you're not having conversations, you're not in the real world, you're not walking around, you're getting no exercise. He says go outside.
3 men under the age of 30 has a girlfriend, 2 in 3 women has a boyfriend. Why? Because women are dating older because they want someone who's more economically and emotionally viable.
Because they don't want to go home with the guy. Oh, by the way, my parents are in the other room.
Shh. Have a group of men who've been convinced they can have a reasonable facsimile of life on a screen in an algorithm. This is a crisis. I would tell the young men, you need to start making some money, you need to get strong, and you need to start getting out every day, out of the house, and start hunting lions, making friends, finding mates, enduring rejection, because you are a strong young man and you can handle it. But you need to get out of the house.
Go out of the house. All right, so here are the numbers for you. 2023, so who knows if these are still good. 18% of 25 to 34-year-olds are living at home.
That's a lot.
If you're 18 to 24, 59% living with their 18 to 24, 59% living with their parents. And right now, if you are a young man, you're living with your parents should kick you out. Because you could live with 2 other guys. You could rent an apartment with about $4,500. You pay $1,500 or $3,700. You pay $1,500. That's what your rent would be. And right now there are 67,000 jobs open for you that pay $25 an hour or more in Seattle and the Seattle area.
Really?
Well, not for you, Joe.
No.
Why you don't seem all excited?
Well, I have a job, so I'm not looking, but I just noticed that people on Reddit, other social media, they're just complaining constantly about not being able to find any job.
Go get a job.
Barista, anything.
But no, they go online. I did this with my kids. They're like, did you apply for that job? Charlie's like, I applied for like 10 jobs, amateur. Oh, so you filled it out online and you sent it in. That's your job? That's it? Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I said, no. You slam together some BS resume and you walk in and you're well dressed and you walk up to the manager and says, if now is not a good time to talk to you about the job opening, when could you talk? What would be better in the morning or the afternoon? Should I come in Thursday or should I come in Friday? But I'd love to talk to you about the job. You know what? The guy's going to go, oh, okay, you look like a decent human being. You don't have a whole bunch of fishing tackle in your face. And you got a nice firm handshake. And you seem like a pretty reasonable human being here. So when can you start? Right? Because you just fill it out online. You're there with everybody else. But if you walk in and present yourself and you seem anxious like you would like to get the job, you can get the job. Go get it. Walk in. Go get the job. My dad kicked me out when I was... the fact that I hit him in the head with a shovel, that was part of the reason. I don't get you out of the house. But when he said to me, if you ever return, you are coming back as a resident, an occupant. Yeah, you're coming back as an occupant, not a resident. Do you know what that means? And I said, no, well, I'm never coming back. He goes, that means if you come back here, you're coming back and you are paying rent and you're paying for utilities and you're paying for food. And you're going to pay, and I'm going to charge you every single month as you come back as an occupant, not a resident. Well, I am never coming back. I'm never coming back. 3 years later, I came back. But I was only there for like about 2 months. I'm like, this sucks. Yeah. Having to pay my dad rent and everything else, and off I go.
I couldn't wait to get out.
Yeah, me too.
17. See ya.
Did you leave at 17?
Oh, yeah.
And then where'd you go?
I went and rented a house with 3 of my friends and got in all sorts of trouble. But
How old were you when you spent some time in the old hooch cow?
21.
Oh, okay.
Well, 19 and 21.
You're in for 3
days.
Oh, okay. Let's check it. 2 days, 2 years. All right, fine, Danny. All right.
By the way, this is completely unrelated.
Oh, okay.
But it just dawned on me how much younger you look.
Thank you, Joe. Got the kind of
It's really coming along.
Anderson Cooper haircut going on right now. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, we've got big issues heading northbound through Seattle this afternoon. At the West Seattle Bridge, we've got this ongoing collision blocking 3 left lanes. Your bumper-to-bumper is starting in mid-Boeing Field, and then once you clear this, it's heavy again between I-90 across the Ship Canal Bridge, of course, for Revive I-5. All added up, all these backups added together, it's 45 minutes to clear them. Northbound 99, a great option to get around this. It is heavy, though, through the downtown tunnel, but nothing in compared to I-5. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. A good chunk of this commute time includes our Revive I-5 backup across the Ship Canal Bridge. Once you clear the bridge, though, you're clear all the way in the shoreline, where it's just a brief backup into Linwood, then you're going to clear out right away. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. Heavy volumes between mid-Bellevue and Bothell. Linwood to Seattle continues to look great this afternoon. Just a 20-minute drive. Eventually, you'll get packed near 520 down to I-90. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, still a 50-minute commute. Tacoma to Olympia, also at 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
It's probably the only person that didn't watch the Seahawks game on Saturday because I was at a health seminar. And Dr. Q was there, really nice guy there in Ellensburg. And he's saying to me, you need to set up a goal. I was like, I got a goal. I set a goal up. I'm going to run a 5K race again. Now, I used to do a whole bunch of marathons, half marathons, whole bunch of sprint triathlons, Ironman. And I thought, I'm going to be able to do a 5K again because I saw Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. I went to the guy. It was a 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure. He had did 20,000 of these. I had a hip, and I was staring down a surgeon's knife having to get a whole new hip. I got stem cell, and I got a 5K race I'm looking forward to. I am running in, haven't run in 7 years. If you've told anybody you got bone on bone, it comes to the knees, you got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, whatever it is, if you're thinking about surgery, you're told you have to get surgery, make one stop over to go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, and find out if a stem cell procedure is right for you. You will love the results. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.com.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's a brand new Gallup poll out that shows independents are actually now the biggest group in the country.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Does this surprise you?
No, it's like a card trick. People in card tricks, the reason why you get fooled is because you pay attention to what they say and you don't pay attention to what they do. Most people only start paying attention when elections, policies, and things start affecting you.
Subscribe to the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel and watch live.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you've been putting off retirement conversations because you're worried it's going to turn into a sales pitch, you're not alone. Hi, Ursula Reutin here. At Trajan Wealth, the focus starts with listening. Their advisors are fiduciaries, which means they're bound to put your needs first, and that changes the tone right away. No pressure, no promises, they're not working off commissions, and they're not pushing any specific products. With Trajan Wealth, it's about understanding where you are and having a clearer sense of what your options look like. Trajan Wealth Wealth is veteran-owned and works with families who want thoughtful guidance that fits real life. Start the new year off right with a game-changing financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth today to figure out how to make your New Year's resolution stick. Trajan, spelled Trajan. Call 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com. A lot of changes in hotel rooms. They've gotten rid of the desk. They've gotten a little smaller. What else have they got rid of in there? Just generally a smaller spot for you. They realize people don't ever use the desk. They don't care about that sort of stuff. And the thing of getting rid of the phones, because nobody ever uses the phone. You ever gone into a hotel room and the phone's blinking? Like somebody must have called. And whenever it rings, I'm like, I'm not going to answer that. Or you try to call out for something. So they also have decided, the folks that have hotels, they're like, let's get rid of the bathroom door. I guess it's a design thing. Because you have the door would have to open out, which is hard, or open in. Opening out, of course, opens out. And then where's the door have to go? There's just not enough space because there's the door to the hotel room. It's coming in. The door swings all the way out. So they said, let's just get rid of it. We'll do a pocket door or a barn sort of door that slides back and forth. That'd be better for everybody. Well, apparently, people are really upset about it. Hotels are getting rid of the proper bathroom door, and guests are revolting. I don't know how you're going to revolt. We can ask for a different room. But this, in the Wall Street Journal, I would assume it's because if you're there with, there's really no privacy with one of those doors. No, they just slide back and forth. And we've got them in the barn, and Twiggy's just able to just push the thing open. And Lil knows how to open the doors. We'll just slide them back and forth.
Not very soundproof.
Not very soundproof, yeah. So too bad. So you happen to be with somebody, and you're there, and you get if nature calls, and nature's like, number two, calling number two. You do what I do. You just simply make, I'll see you in a little bit. And you take the elevator down, go out to the lobby there, and remove the door. There's a bathroom off to the side there. No one's ever in there. It's very, very nice, very, very private. That's the best spot. Make your way back up again.
Pretend like nothing happened.
I just don't need to make a big announcement. I'm going downstairs to poop. No, you just leave and come back. I think everybody would appreciate that. But that people haven't discovered that little secret.
And you maintain that never in your entire relationship.
I've never violated that rule. As far as my wife's concerned, like my friend Sean says, as far as his wife knows, he has never moved his bowels. I guess that was one of their wedding vows. Have and hold, sickness and health. Just makes for just a better life. And also those guys that do, what's that called when you pull the covers up and...
Oh, the Dutch oven.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I'm pretty sure I'm not friends with anybody that is involved in that type of activity.
No.
I'm having dinner with my friend Ty tonight. I'll have to ask him. He seems like that kind of guy.
If he says yes, will you get up and leave?
No, he's a really good guy. Okay. I will ask him. We're going to Rockwood Fire Pizza in Auburn tonight for dinner.
Yum!
Thank you, Teeny. All right, here comes Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan. Please.
All right, John, North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge. You've got a collision blocking 3 left lanes, and we're solid starting almost at the south end of Boeing Field now. Once you clear this, you've got another backup between I-90 and the Ship Canal Bridge. All added up, we're close to 1 hour to make it through these backups. Southbound, or rather State Route 99 through South Park, 509 East Marginal Way, Airport Way. These are all good alternate routes right now. All of them are pretty much wide open. It is getting heavy through the downtown tunnel. Our northbound backup through Seattle has westbound 520 bumper to bumper from 84th over to I-5. Bellevue to Seattle's at 35 minutes on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are still hovering right around 1 hour commutes. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's packed at 520 to Coal Creek Parkway, and then you're going to break free pretty quickly. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. We're slow from, we'll call it the Duwamish Curve, all the way past State Route 516, and Renton to Puyallup on the freeway, Valley Freeway, that is, taking you 50 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, let's get that house organized. Let's get Closets by Design to come in. Okay, it's maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, can't remember. The nice designer from Closets by Design came all the way out to Cle Elum, sat with us from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and came up with ideas we hadn't even thought about. Because Nick and I were like, let's do this in the master bedroom. Let's do this in the other closet on the second floor. And maybe they could do something, I don't know, in some of the other bedrooms. The place sleeps 20 people. So she's like, whoa, let's organize this. And it was amazing. Nick said, when you come home, you're not going to believe the garage. I drove in there. The whole back wall is nothing but cabinets. It is so beautiful. And the nice designer from Closets by Design also said, let's build you a cabinet that matches the woodwork in the laundry room. How many times have you heard that? Never in your life. When Closets by Design comes in, they're locally owned. They've been in business for 22 years. They're a family-run business. And they'll give you a great design without the great design price, 40% off, plus 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Call them. 1-800-BY-DESIGN, 1-800-BY-DESIGN, or closetsbydesign.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me. I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
Hey there, Don Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump soon heads to Switzerland for the World Economic Forum, where he's expected to face extraordinary pushback from Americans' European allies over his planned tariffs over Greenland. CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd.
This time, the president is frustrated that Denmark, Greenland, and other European countries aren't acquiescing to his demands vis-a-vis Greenland itself. And it's a little unclear really what those demands are.
CBS News has learned that feds have served multiple grand jury subpoenas to Minnesota officials, including the governor, attorney general, and Minneapolis's mayor, as part of an investigation into whether they obstructed or impeded federal law enforcement during an immigration operation in the Twin Cities. President Trump talked about ICE today. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
During a White House press briefing today, President Trump weighed in on the administration's increased ICE enforcement.
They're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or they deal with rough people.
And at an ICE facility in St. Paul, U.S. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino says during the past 6 weeks alone, federal officers have arrested more than 3,000 people in the Twin Cities.
U.S. Southern Command says U.S. forces have seized a 7th oil tanker in the Caribbean. CBS's Eleanor Watson.
This tanker, the Sagita, was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department last year for being part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, used to circumvent Western sanctions. The Department of Homeland Security led the seizure with support from the Marines and Navy, which has about a dozen U.S. ships in the Caribbean, in part to enforce this just over a month-old quarantine.
Mexico sends 37 cartel members to the U.S. in its latest offer to the Trump administration, as the U.S. increases pressure on governments to take down drug smuggling networks. A federal judge has barred Trump loyalist Lindsay Halligan from, he says, masquerading as the top federal prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia. CBS's Jake Rosen explains.
In an 18-page ruling Tuesday, U.S. District Judge David Novak, who sits on the federal bench in Richmond, Virginia, ruled that Halligan's, quote, continued identification of herself as United States attorney for this district ignores a binding court order and may not continue. and ruled that Halligan could face disciplinary proceedings if she continues to use that, quote, improper moniker.
The judge says he will allow Halligan to avoid attorney disciplinary proceedings for now in light of her inexperience. President Trump's personal attorneys have just moved to block the release of former special counsel Jack Smith's report on his investigation into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents to the public. The report is set to become public in February. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, another tech giant announces layoffs in Seattle. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. It's getting busy out there. Home Comfort Alliance has the update. Let's start you here in Seattle, where we've got a huge issue, North 5, heading in through the city. At the West Seattle Bridge, we've got this long-term collision blocking 3 left lanes. You've got a solid backup starting near the south end of Boeing Field, and then once you clear this, we're heavy again between I-90 across the Ship Canal Bridge. Of course, that's our new normal with Revive I-5. All added up, it's taking you 1 hour to clear these backups. State Route 99 through South Park, 509, East Marginal Way, Airport Way are good alternate routes. All of them are pretty much wide open right now. Our northbound backup through Seattle has westbound 520 bumper to bumper, almost from 92nd now over to I-5. Bellevue to Seattle closing in on 40 minutes on 520. It's 25 minutes on I-90. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett still at 1 hour. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. You're packed at 520 to Coal Creek. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. Pretty typical backup here, starting at the Duwamish Curve. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 50 minutes. We're starting to thin out in the north end, but pretty solid in the south end from State Route 18 all the way into Puyallup. And then a reminder, up in Ferndale, our crash on South 5 and Main Street that we reported an hour or so ago has now sadly turned into a fatality investigation. So all southbound lanes remain blocked and will be for a couple more hours. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. Right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the Comfort People, homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Meta announces it is laying off 331 workers across the Puget Sound region, part of cuts to its virtual reality division. The Facebook parent company says it is trimming about 10% of its Reality Labs units as it shifts focus from the metaverse to more wearable technology. Layoffs at Redmond, Seattle, Bellevue, and remote employees across the state. Seattle Times reports Reality Labs has lost more than $13 billion this year. At least 6 Seattle schools sheltered in place today amid reports of ICE agents in their neighborhoods. Those reports unconfirmed. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Schools include Cleveland STEM High School, Kurosi Middle School, and Maple Elementary. Sheltering in place, parents and concerned neighbors like Anna Copley came to Kurosi Middle School to let their presence and their opposition be known.
I have a couple kids and I feel defensive, like we have to protect these young people and these families.
We didn't actually see any agents, but one school official told me they have indeed been spotted in the neighborhood. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A state bill to ban law enforcement from wearing face masks while on duty is continuing to work its way through Olympia. Senator Javier Valdez of Seattle says he drafted that bill after watching ICE and border agents.
Seeing law enforcement officers throughout the country bringing intimidation tactics and causing fear in neighborhoods, in our families, and our communities.
Now, Pete Serrano is with the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Washington. He tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red he's against that measure.
Transparency and public safety are not the true intent of this bill. It's to unmask and make doxing easier.
The bill recently passed out of the state's Senate Law and Justice Committee. Expect a more expensive tickets if a camera catches you speeding in Tacoma. As of the first of this year, the fine has increased from $124 to $145. If you're a first-time offender, you can get that penalty cut in half. Weather update now. We are looking at some increasing clouds tonight. Plenty of morning fog again tomorrow. Overnight lows in the low 30s. Highs tomorrow in the upper 40s. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
You attract what you are, not what you want. Just listen to this before bed every night. It will reprogram your subconscious mind with the vibration of your desires.
People deserve the government they deserve, and they're going to get it good and hard. Oh, that's not nice. I'm slightly misquoting that. All right, I see what you're doing in there.
It had the right energy.
Had me working behind the 8 ball. Diving into the nose. There we go. We got a walk-on song for her. Carlene Johnson from the Center Square, a must-read writer who has the, I guess you drew the short straw there, Johnson. Huh? You're covering everything in Olympia? Oh, you're taking your glasses off, are you, huh?
Yeah, I look better. I can't see you, but you can see me and I look better. Yeah, I am in the office of John Sadcast, broadcast coordinator for the House Republicans here, and he's been so kind to give me his office because I thought that I'd be home by this time today, John, but it just didn't happen. It's been one of those days at the Capitol.
Well, it's a lovely office. I see a thermostat, a light switch, and a clock. So let's get going here. And
the legend himself, Mr. Sadcast.
There he is. Oh, look at that.
There he is.
Look at that.
See?
Now, all right. So let's talk about a couple of things that have drawn the ire of many. It's being referred to by Jim Walsh from the 19th, the Fighting 19th, as the initiative killer. This is SB, was it 5973?
That sounds right. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Well, this bill, not really the same as the initiative killer attempt that they trotted out last year, but this one would require somebody, say it's a Brian Haywood, for example, with Let's Go Washington, who has an initiative idea, to go out and gather 1,000 signatures of people that say, yeah, I would sign this again if it's actually qualified to get to the point of gathering signatures. So that's the first hurdle. And the probably even more troublesome issue based on the hearing I sat in this afternoon, John, is that it would say that you can pay signature gatherers by the hour. So it wouldn't prohibit paid signature gathering, but you cannot pay per signature. And the contention of the bill's sponsor, Javier Valdez, and those who spoke in support of it is that those folks out there gathering signatures are under just too much pressure if they're paid per signature, and that can lead to fraud.
Does he have evidence of fraud?
No, and that question was asked during the hearing, and the Secretary of State himself, Steve Hobbs, who testified against it, as did former Secretary of State Sam Reed. They said the same thing. They've got the checks and balances in place. That is what the Office of Secretary of State Steve Hobbs does. You know, they check those signatures. If there's anything questionable, it gets set aside, maybe tossed out if there's plenty of, cushion for how many they need to qualify. So no evidence of that, but the assertion from the bill sponsor and those who testified in support of this is that this is just going to ensure that we have, integrity and transparency in our initiative.
Right, because what is the name of the initiative? Is it something like Protecting Democracy or something like that? Is what they're calling it?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you just said that, because I'm telling you, there had to have been, I don't know if it went out from WEA or SEIU or somebody, sort of talking points for every person who spoke in support of this thing, because they all used that language almost verbatim. And all of them, of course, attacked without naming him, except for one guy who accidentally said the name of Brian Haywood, and you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
But otherwise, they all brought up, the millionaires and billionaires who push this stuff for their own gain and their own greed.
Yeah.
I was sitting right next to Brian Haywood in that hearing, because, of course, they pushed it to the very end of the 2-hour time allotment. And so we had a couple of brief exchanges as others were testifying.
It's sweet irony. In 1912, the voters of Washington did not trust the lawmakers. They said they're bought and sold, both Republicans and Democrats, by corporate interests, railroads and logging. And they said, once they get in there and they start passing these laws, we can't do anything about it. So they came up with the initiative process for the very reason that they didn't trust the lawmakers. And again, it was Republicans and Democrats. They said, we want a final say on this thing. So they set this program up, this initiative program, this referendum program, for the very sake so that the people themselves would be able to say, no, we don't like that law or like this law. But they're describing this one as the protecting the integrity of the state initiative and referendum process. They're not protecting it necessarily. I mean, this is my opinion, not yours. It seems like they're just trying to stop it. So Hayward pays, it was something like $5 a signature. I mean, it's a crazy amount of money that they pay these people. And they travel all around the United States.
Well, and the other thing was interesting because 3 of the folks who testified in opposition, one guy that was there from the SEIU in person and 2 others that testified, in support of the bill remotely, said that they had witnessed paid signature gatherers hired by, Haywood and Company.
Yeah.
And and in one case, the guy said, I watched for 8 hours outside of Fred Meyer in Tacoma. And the first thing that went off in my mind was, wow, dude, you had like a free day to sit there and just watch the guy gather signatures.
Well, he's trying to protect democracy now.
Well, there you go.
These are patriots. They're patriots. Come on. Yes.
And his testimony was that the paid signature gatherer looked ill and frozen solid, and that then was lying about what the initiative, and this is going to be either the restoration of parental rights or the one to, protect girls in sports. The signature gatherer lied. So the suggestion was that the signature gatherer was cold and frozen and sickly because he was forced to be out there, but he was also a liar. Let's get that out there. So that we heard that over and over again.
Yeah, it's really interesting because when it was the referendum and the initiative bill was passed, the folks in Olympia back in 1915, 16, somewhere in there, said they wanted to get rid of it. They said, okay, now we're going to get rid of it. So then it went back to the voters, and the voters voted down that bill to stop it. They still said, nope, you weren't listening the first time. We want this. You trying to get rid of it. We want it. So that's going back to 1916 on this. So that's the one. Does it seem to have support? Have you heard from people in the hallways? Are they going to be voting on this?
Well, we had 10,000, I think it was 10,520 people who signed in opposition. We had 1,200 roughly that signed in support. So I don't know, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio of public, support or lack thereof on this bill. But it is scheduled for a committee vote out of that same committee, Senate Travel Relations, on Friday, I think 10:30 in the morning.
I see. And then the other one, you had a chance to sit in with our Attorney General, Mr. Brown. Were you at that press conference?
I was. It was interesting. So was my colleague from the Center Square, TJ Martinell, who has written this. Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long day, John, when you're wrote about stuff. My goodness. I need something stronger than a Diet Coke.
Come on. It's Carly Johnson. Give her something stronger. All right. So
he is my Coke dealer here in Olympia, but it's for business. So
what did he spoke about? What did Brown spoke about? Yeah.
Well, so TJ has written extensively about, the bar complaint and other stuff. I know you talked about this in your show. So this was the first time that TJ has been able to come to a press conference, and God bless him, he drove from Startup, where he lives off Highway 2, to Olympia today to be at the presser. And you should have seen the look on A.G. Brown's face when he walked out to the podium. He saw not just me sitting in the front row, but my friend TJ sitting right behind me. And it was a beautiful moment. He kind of did a double take. And he did, he didn't really answer my questions or TJ's questions about some of the fraud investigation or TJ's, uncovering of documents that prove there could be some questionable conversations going on in the AG's office and those who work for him. So, unfortunately, didn't get answers to my questions, but we pressed him.
Well, you are known for asking questions that often don't get answers. The Center Square.
Then I'm not doing something right.
Well, I mean, you're asking either good questions or they don't want to give you the answer for it. Carlene's question. What was the one that she got recently ignored on? Which one was that, Joe?
The daycare question?
Was it a daycare question?
Yeah, they didn't like that one. That was the media veil from last week. And they suggested that those, what was it? It was aggressive, harassing reporters that were door knocking on Somali run home daycares, which I did in my community in Federal Way, to ask questions just as there a daycare here, that we were really out of line.
Yeah,
and
we have you. You want to hear yourself actually speaking the King's English?
I love hearing myself.
Yes. Hang on. I don't know how many Diet Cokes you had for this one, but
I'm going to need another one. I can tell.
Joe found it. Joe, you got it.
As a reporter, I have every right to knock on that door and say, "You're getting a heck of a lot of money. Are you actually watching kids?" And you've got all
my two kids went to an in-home child care center. The woman who ran it is still to this day called Grandma Cindy by my kids in their 20s.
Care center too.
There's not a lock. There's not a gate going up to that front door. All of the regulations in the back for keeping the kids safe is in place. But if you were knocking on that door and I found out about it, I would lose my mind. That is a home. That is a home where a business operates to care for toddlers.
If it's a taxpayer subsidized daycare, we have every right to knock on the door and say, "Are you a legit operation?"
The Department of Children, Youth, and Families audits all of them every year. Did you report that to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families?
Right.
Did you write a story about it?
They have performed audits and the findings have not been acted upon. That I have reported on.
So when you went and knocked on a in-home family child care center, did you report that there was nobody there to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families?
That there was no one from DCYF there?
No, there was. You said that there was no daycare going on there.
Right, there was no daycare there.
And did you report that to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families so they could follow up?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I look forward to hearing that because they audit every child care center every year, and they haven't found the instances of the kind of fraud that has been alleged.
Okay.
Okay, and let me correct one thing.
Hold on, we're going to have Grandma Cindy on next. Grandma Cindy's coming on next, so go ahead.
Well, let me just tell you, because we found out from DCYF and a work session that turned out to be kind of a joke last week, that only 23% of daycares are audited on an annual basis. And that audit is often self-reporting. Them saying, yeah, I still watch 6 kids a day. Yeah, I still should be eligible for those subsidies. I don't know how you call that an audit.
Okay, there's more than 7,000 of these daycares in the state of Washington, and I was trying to figure out how many inspectors they have. They said they have 100, although that number is a little mushy. So there would have to be like 70 daycare centers they'd have to look at. But you found out they don't actually go. Only 28% get actually inspected. Are those the ones that have complaints against them, or they just randomly show up at those?
No, those are the ones, 23% where they go up. I was told by DCYF last week, 23% a year that they perform this annual audit on. Now, they say that they do annual inspections on all of them, unannounced inspections, but they even conceded in that work session, John, that oftentimes they go, and if we don't find any kids, then we'll do a follow-up. And the question was then, so you go back the next day and say, okay, why do you got no kids? I don't see a daycare here. Yeah. Or do you wait a week? What is that? How does that scenario look? Didn't get any questions answered. And I was disappointed, honestly, even with Republicans in that committee last week, they didn't push harder. I'm told that it's coming. I haven't seen it yet. But we are only on day 7 of the session. What day
Carlene, we're going to have to send somebody.
I need another Diet Coke.
We're going to have to send somebody down there with a straitjacket for you because this is your first time on the air, and this is not going well, Joe. We can't do this to the woman. We're torturing her.
That's fantastic.
Are you still knocking on daycare center doors? Are you still doing that?
Well, I can't confirm nor deny at this point.
Okay.
Sadcast is laughing at me. This will never work. Yes, I have done a little bit more of that. I've gone out with my friend and yours, Jonathan Cho, because he has a little bit of a bigger budget for armed security than we do at the Center Square. And I'm not stupid. I've already had to make a police report because of some online threats. And, it's not something you mess around with in this day and age that we're living in. So I won't go out alone. I've been told by my husband I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
So I will go out with company.
By the way, Jonathan would be no help because he refuses to wear anything other than flip-flops outside.
What is with those stinking sandals? I saw him again yesterday, and I'm like, dude, I will buy you shoes. I don't know if he has like a foot issue or he's afraid of something closed-toed. What is up?
I don't know. And you look at his toes, and you're like, I don't know. Put something on
those dogs up. I told him.
Nasty. They're all yellowy and twisted. It's just awful.
Okay, now you've gone just one step too far.
That's my job. All right, listen, I'll let you get back to whatever it is that you are doing on your way to the Nut House, Carlene Johnson from the Center Square. My best to your engineer over there. He's working hard, keeping you.
He's the hardest working man in Olympia. I got to show you, only because he's. Rumor has it he might not be around here a heck of a lot longer. Not of his own, decision, but
right.
Yeah.
I understand when
Right?
they take you out in the to the funny harm, they'll take him as well. All right, listen, I'll let you get back home, and we'll talk with you again soon. We'll find out about the latest going on there in Olympia. Thanks, Carlene.
All right, thanks, John.
Carlene Johnson from Center Square. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. This report brought to us by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Well, we just cleared like a minute ago, cleared that long-term crash North 5 at the West Seattle Bridge. It had 3 left lanes blocked for the longest time. So you've got a solid backup starting at the south end of Boeing Field. Once you clear this heavy backup, we're heavy again from I-90 up to the Ship Canal Bridge because of Revive I-5. So all added up, it's taking you 1 hour to clear these backups. Southbound or State Route 99 through South Park and East Marginal Way are beginning to slowly fill in as alternate routes, but still way better than that I-5 business we're looking at. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, 35 minutes on 520 with a solid backup from 84th to I-5. 25 minutes on I-90 where it's crowded across the lake, but you're moving. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. Again, a good chunk of this commute includes our Revive I-5 backup there at the Ship Canal Bridge. So once you get through the Ship Canal, it's just scattered slowing from Shoreline through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 50 minutes. Still heavy between Kirkland and Totem Lake, and then things thin out pretty quickly for you. Bellevue to Renton is down to a half hour. Still solid from 520 to Coal Creek Parkway. And Renton to Puyallup has improved on the Valley Freeway to 40 minutes. The north end is thinning out pretty nicely, but we're still solid in the south end from State Route 18 all the way into Puyallup. And then that backup continues on westbound 512 over to Canyon Road. That is a solid backup, just volume. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I had a physical yesterday, and I asked, hey, can I do an eye test? Like, sure, why not? So I did the eye test. I have 20/20 vision. I don't wear glasses, no more contacts, no more readers, none of that. Just about 5 years ago, I went over to see Dr. Kopstein at K2VisionRLE.com. That's RLE stands for Refractive Lens Exchange. And I had him take a look at my eyes. I told him I don't want to wear glasses anymore. Every year I had to get another prescription. He said, no, hold on. I'll take a look at your eyes. If this is not going to have a great result for you, then I won't do it. And right then, that was the point. I was like, I'm going with this guy. Because I had met with another place, and they're like, yeah, sure, we can do this. So Kopstein says, nope. Unless it has a great result, I'll tell you to come back in 10, 15, or 20 years, and then we'll do it. Huh? You're sending people away? He looks at my eyes. He goes, boy, they're in bad shape. I said, I know. So I get RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. It takes me 5 minutes on both eyes. I go back in the next day or 2 days later, I got 20/20 vision. If you are over the age of 50, you don't want to wear readers, glasses, or contact lenses, concerned about a cataract, your answer could be, for you, K2Vision.com. That's K2Vision.com.
Be there when the Seahawks make history. Hello! KIRO News Radio's giving away 2 tickets to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, my word!
Sunday against LA at Lumen Field.
I can't tell you how pumped I am to see what the 12s bring.
Download the KIRO News Radio app and click the Win tab to enter. You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your odds.
This should be fun.
Enter daily now through Wednesday, January 21st. Contest rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granello. A protest today moved through the streets of downtown Seattle, one of hundreds across the nation, to mark 1 year since President Trump took office. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lemibao has more.
We saw hundreds of people marching their way from Seattle Central College, from Capitol Hill, and then down here to the waterfront. They say that this rally was really focused on supporting democracy and human rights. Many people here protesting ICE, but all of this really stayed pretty peaceful.
President Trump, meantime, marking his first year in office by talking about his accomplishments and answering multiple questions on Greenland. CBS's Linda Kenyon has more from the White House.
President Trump spoke to reporters as he prepared to head to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. His effort to take over Greenland has received a lot of pushback from NATO nations, some of whom have said a U.S. takeover could break up the NATO alliance. The president is not deterred.
I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy.
and where we're going to be very happy.
Trump also reiterated why he believes it is important for the U.S. to take Greenland.
We need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown says he has filed 50 lawsuits in 52 weeks against the Trump administration. As a result, Brown says he's protected funding for things like public safety, health care, and SNAP benefits.
We are facing a president who has shown over and over and over again that he has no respect for the rule of law, no respect for Congress, no respect for judges, frankly, no respect to anyone that disagrees with him.
We have reached out to the White House for comment on Brown's remarks. 2 alert City of Kent employees thwarted a wire theft in progress last week. KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lenzi has that story.
Last Wednesday, they spotted a guy trying to steal wire from what are known as junction boxes, which control the intersection signals, the cameras, and are the link between the signals and railroad crossing arms. While one of them called police, the other tailed the guy and gave officers updates until they caught up to him and arrested him. Not only that, the text snapped a picture of the suspect kneeling next to one of the open boxes with wires hanging out of it. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
At 5:33 now, we go to the real-time traffic desk with Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, here in Seattle, it's a 50-minute drive from the south end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge with a pretty solid backup the entire way. The good news is the collision that caused our Boeing Field backup cleared about 15 minutes ago. So we're starting to see all this backup from the south end of Boeing Field move north, so look out. Seattle to Everett right now is a 55-minute commute. A reminder now, a good chunk of this commute time includes our downtown backup across the Ship Canal Bridge. Once you clear the Ship Canal, you're clear all the way into Shoreline. Bellevue to Everett is at 50 minutes, still heavy through Kirkland and Totem Lake, and then another backup as you approach the Alderwood interchange. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, 35 minutes on 520. It is bumper to bumper across the lake, 25 minutes on I-90, and eastbound 90 now slows across Mercer Island. Bellevue to Renton, half-hour trip. You're packed from 520 to Coal Creek Parkway, and Tacoma to Olympia has improved to 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And now to the forecast. Looking at a very nice sunset at this hour, mostly clear skies. We'll see some increasing clouds tonight and much more morning fog before we see highs top out in the upper 40s for Wednesday. Right now, 49 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Teeny's very upset that we're not doing Wilcox. Wilcox coming back next week, I think.
I am so sad.
A little dizzy, too.
Pissed. Are you controlling that now?
Hello.
I don't think so.
She's coming around again. Okay, the new mayor, Katie Wilson, who I endorse because, again, I want to see socialism work. Apparently it's been tried, but not well enough. So let's do that. Let's get the warm brace of a collectivism without murdering 100 million people. I draw the line when you start killing 100 million people, as most socialist countries and communist countries have to do. So Katie Wilson signed her first two executive orders. This is last Thursday, and here we go. So here we get
Mayor Katie Wilson announced her first executive orders Thursday in Beacon Hill. The orders target 2 of Seattle's most glaring issues: people sleeping on the streets and buses stalled in traffic.
The buses? Yeah, that's more people are really upset about the buses, right? It's not the graffiti, the crime, and the rest of the stuff. It's just there's people sleeping on the street, but then those buses, that's the thing that gets me.
Wilson herself singled out Denny Way, a route she takes from her home in Capitol Hill, sometimes so bad she's stuck in traffic up to 40 minutes.
We're going to get out the red paint on Denny Way. Seattle deserves world-class public transit. Seattle voters have told us again and again that they want fast, frequent, reliable bus service. We cannot let one of our highest ridership routes consistently languish in traffic. That is not a good use of our transit tax dollars, and it's not a good use of our time. So in this executive order, I'm directing SDOT to implement at least one bus lane and other transit-supportive infrastructure along Denny Way, with the goal of significantly improving reliability, speed, and performance of the Route 8 and other transit services. I'm excited.
Okay. So is it on Denny or Dexter? Where's she putting this thing, do you know?
Denny, I believe.
On Denny. They had talked about this one earlier. They, I think it was in September. This is before Katie Wilson was elected. They were looking at it and they said they're doing studies on, okay, so the number of cars driving there on Denny, if we do the red line there and have the bus lane, they expect anywhere between the commute for the person in their car would be increased by 17 to 35 minutes. And then they said, yeah, let's not do it. So somebody there, this is a quote from the Urbanist. This is the article from September. Hoping to fix congestion by continuing to prioritize the least effective mode of transportation is nonsensical. The best way to reduce traffic is to provide viable alternatives to driving and to get drivers out of their cars. So bus lanes are the solution, not the follow-up. Joe, what are you doing? People can see your weird head. What's wrong?
Too distracting. I had to get Teeny out of the way.
Okay. We'll just make sure.
I don't believe this.
Teeny, hang on.
This is a disaster.
Hang on. I paid $37 for that
Everything was
turntable.
fine.
Hold on, Teeny.
We'll get it back later. I
All
just
right.
had to get it out of the way.
Anyway, I was in the middle of a radio show. So get them out of their cars. The problem is always, listen, if people could find a better way to get from point A to point B that's more convenient for them and serves their time schedule, they would probably find it. But to force them out of it, so what they're basically saying now is, well, we're gonna just take away that lane. We're gonna make your commute, which is going to would have been 17 to 35 minutes, even worse. So then at that point, you're going to be like, well, this really sucks. So now I'm going to get out of my car and I'm going to get on the number 8 bus and I'm going to be able to smell fentanyl and anything else I want and maybe get stabbed. I'm going to be able to get on that bus and things will be better for me. So this is that forced choice that they're going to give you. So Katie's first move is not only, well, the main thing she talked about was, what was the first initiative then? On homeless, but she didn't say what the initiative was, just that they're going to paint a red line on Denny.
We edited that part out of the comments.
What's she doing on the homeless part?
They're
She's going to
at
paint another line and let them have their own lane?
No, but they're going to look at more opportunities for immediate emergency housing. So look at city-owned properties, things like that.
Oh, okay. Well, you can hear from Andrea Suarez will tell you can't just put people in housing. You got to get them treatment. And I'm all with that. Like if you're going to put somebody in housing, great. And the analogy I always use, if you get diagnosed with cancer, they don't say, okay, we're going to give you a room in the in the hospital. Okay, you got cancer. It's stage 3. We're going to give you a bed. And then you're sitting in the bed going, hey, can I get some help here? I get this cancer, right? Then they come and they chemo or whatever else they're going to do to you. Because you have a problem. They give you the hospital bed. You're in the bed. Then they give you treatment. These people are sick. There is a pain, that there is a brokenness in their heart. The addiction is the byproduct of the pain. So by just giving them a roof, it's very similar to the person laying in a hospital bed without treatment. Now, do you have the money and do you have the support and do you really have people that are going to be with these individuals on an hourly or daily or weekly basis? I was talking to an individual a couple of months ago, and I forget what department he was working for, and he said it was awful. My job, unfortunately, was to go into these rooms, go into these apartments, and somebody might have been dead in there for 2 weeks. 2 weeks from overdose. And no one was there to help them, obviously. And now here's the condition that this individual's life ends in isolation. They don't have the support. I would, if I were on that council, I would say, okay, I'm all for housing. Now, how much money do you have set aside to be able to have a trained medical individuals, either through social work and additional drug addiction counselors that are working on these people on a daily basis? And then you have to put some roadblocks in place. And you say, if you don't come to this counseling session, if you're not seeking the medical treatment we are affording you, you're out. because someone else needs that room. Someone else needs that apartment. You have to put some parameters in place so that the people then respond to the initiative. Do you like the house that you're in? Do you like the roof that you have? Do you like the fact that you've got heat? Perhaps they're even providing food. Great. Then we're going to need you to step up and start doing something. I'll tell you, one of the best organizations I've ever been involved with in my life, two of them in particular, but Union Gospel Mission for one, and the second was Fair Start. Fair Start is the only organization I know of today that can take somebody who has lived their entire life on homelessness and an 18-month project, an 18-month program that is in place that takes somebody from homelessness to employment. It is remarkable. It is because of the support of the restaurant community, but also Fair Start in general. They take those people, and I used to wash dishes there on Tuesday nights. And I remember I was washing dishes with this guy named Ray. I'm talking all about him. And he's coming along in the program. He had a really hard life. One day I'm in there, and I said to somebody, "Hey, where's Ray?" Because I usually like washing dishes with Ray. Ray got paid on Friday, and whatever the situation, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad things happened, and Ray has to start all over again. They make him go all the way they just like chutes and ladders. He goes all the way back to the beginning, starts all the way back up again. They hold them accountable. And so when those guys graduate from these programs, these men and women, when they graduate, and I still think graduation's on Tuesday nights, if you can, take some time, go to Fair Start. I think it's Tuesday. Look online at Fair Start. Be at the graduation. You want to see a remarkable turnaround. I remember one time this guy stood up on the stairs. He was like 57 years old. He said, "I have never accomplished anything in my entire life. This is the only thing I started and finished." And then they award him some chef knives. And that thing, I think it was... I don't know, it might have been Howie, I forget who it was, stood up and offered him a job right there. It is the best experience, the greatest meal you can have, because it really isn't just about feeding the stomach, it is the soul as well. That's Fair Start. Be there for a graduation program. You want to see a program that works, it's right there. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, here in Seattle, we are seeing big improvements here northbound I-5 after we cleared that long-term collision near the West Seattle Bridge. So right now, it remains packed from about the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on about 35 minutes to clear this backup. Seattle to Everett down to 50 minutes. Bellevue to Everett at 45 minutes. Our express lanes, we have a new collision. It's blocking the end of the on-ramp from Mercer. From my camera view, this is a brand new collision, so I'm not sure if drivers can get around this yet or not. You might be stuck behind it. I'll have an answer for you coming up here in 10 minutes in our next report. Eastbound 90 slows across Mercer Island, which is against the normal flow of traffic. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour, still packed through Bellevue starting at 520. Seattle to Federal Way, we've improved a half hour as this backup is quickly thinning out along South Center. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're down to 35 minutes. Still heavy from State Route 18 into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nathan Connors. Okay, and we're going to get organized. We want to make sure we get closets. So maybe we've got cabinets that we need to build in that house of yours. And you think, well, okay, I'm going to just go online and start Googling. The first thing comes up, I've heard of those people. I've heard of that organization. I've heard of that business. They've been around. Yeah, let's get those guys. I said, hold on a second. Wouldn't you rather hire a local company? A family-run company that's been around for 22 years, that has the track record, the outstanding Google reviews. Wouldn't that be nice to keep the money local? The fact that this particular company that puts closets in, they try to source most of the materials right here in the Pacific Northwest, and they are truly customizing. Whatever they do in that house of yours, you will get a project that you will be proud of because you've got Closets by Design. Closets by Design came to our barn about, 6 months ago, completely redid the place. It is amazing. They worked with Nick, and they came up with ideas we hadn't even thought of. In fact, I still brag about the laundry room. They built a cabinet that matched the woodwork in there. This was amazing, but it wasn't crazy design prices. 40% off plus additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Closets by Design. That's Closets by Design, 1-800-BYDesign.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
President Trump says we have to have Greenland. EU leaders are pushing back.
Former U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Kurt Volker, joins us at 6:15 to sort it out.
From homeless encampments to budgets and social media protections for kids.
Sherry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard breaks down what's happening in Olympia.
Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When winter weather hits and the power goes out, will your family still have heat, light, and communication? The Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from My Patriot Supply gives you serious off-grid power. It'll run heaters, refrigerators, medical devices, and more without gas or noise. Right now, you can double your power for free with a free expansion battery when you order the Grid Doctor 3300. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and get your Grid Doctor 3300 today. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, you may have a big problem in retirement, and it's taxes. Taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, taxes on your Social Security benefits, taxes on your investment income, and more. And when you add it all up, this could be your largest expense in retirement. That's why it's critical you get in front of this now. Hi, it's Charlie Harger. Discover the strategies that could significantly reduce your taxes in retirement with a free, customized retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, who has 2 locations in Seattle. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350. Don't overpay your taxes to the government. Call 206-210-1350.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No statement contained herein should constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host Hack.
Nearing retirement? Don't miss out. Madrona's free virtual seminar on the 27th of January at 6:30 p.m. John Curley here. Retirement isn't just about income. It's about avoiding big mistakes and blind spots. Join Matt Beyer and Madrona Financial and CPAs for a free virtual retirement planning workshop. Learn what a complete retirement plan looks like. Call to RSVP 833-673-7373. Again, it's Tuesday the 27th at 6:30 online via Zoom. Call or sign up at madronafinancial.com/events.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Schedule your free consultation at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people at Home Comfort Alliance.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
What are you going to do on the song? Keep it short. All right, Hudson, please.
I'm a mailman.
Nice.
There you go. You are the mailman. Good letter of the day. First, get started with all the rest. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, guys, listen, Dave Ramsey told me if you have a lot of debt, you're not going to a restaurant unless you're working at the restaurant. And yes, John, you are on the air.
Oh, thank you for that, Dennis. David, the naked mailbox man. Donald offered $700 billion for Greenland. Yeah, I knocked a zero off that. $700 billion. Yep.
Spike O'Neill.
Yes.
Says, wait, is he effing kidding about FDR? All he did was save the U.S. from disastrous Republican economic policy and then save the world from fascism. What a loser, huh?
Oh, my God. Joe, who is the one president I detest?
More than FDR?
There's no one I detest more than FDR.
No,
Spike,
I think...
why don't we talk about, look up, Spike, since you're listening. Find out how FDR... would not let any Americans have gold. That he took all the gold from everyone and paid him $24. And then when he had all the gold, I think he took it up to $34. So you weren't allowed to no gold. No one's allowed to have gold. Just one of the things that FDR did. Don't get me started. You put that in there, Joe. I can't stand FDR.
No, I know that. I thought Woodrow Wilson was your least favorite.
He's the other moron.
Okay. Your turn.
Oh. Elliot in Seattle on hotel bathroom stories. Is Andrew sleeping on the fart button? Yeah, I'm very disappointed in you. Trying to do that was me. Sorry, that was me.
Brian on Capitol Hill on the same story. He says, maybe us gay couples are just a little more comfortable than the straight couples.
Okay. It could be a olfactory thing.
Fair.
Good grief. Joe takes a day off, and John does all but confess to cheating on him with Paul. Not even an apology. Tina, that's not. Nothing happened. We didn't go into a bathroom together.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
I mean, come on. That was a short
That's because Spike threw me off.
I know.
Yeah, look it up, Spike.
You guys, that's a conversation.
We'll be having that one right over
good.
Jake's head the whole time. Okay, here we go.
Ann in Renton says, John.
Yes.
My husband and I listen to you on your show almost every day, and we've turned on YouTube to watch, and of course with your new look. But I thought for sure I would see Teeny, and I don't know what Teeny looks like. Is it possible that you can have her make an appearance? We can finally see her. This is Mike and Ann. Thank you, and you look great.
Thank you, Ann, and thanks for watching and listening. Yes, Teeny now has a turnstile that she's turning on. So she's coming around for you right now, Ann. She's sitting there. She has a computer in front of her with my face and Tom's face.
Potato.
And a potato, and she's drinking booze.
That's right.
There she goes.
On an electronic lazy Susan.
There's a lot of listeners that hate her.
Yes, there are. Weird imaginary friend.
I know they don't like
That's
her.
all she
All right.
wrote.
Hey, you two people, thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting amongst yourselves. We certainly appreciate your support of the show, whatever that is. All right? Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Yes, sir. North 5 in Seattle. We're packed from the north end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge, where 2 left lanes are blocked for Revive I-5 work. You know this. Plan on 40 minutes to clear this backup. Northbound 99 is now solid from Soto up to South Lake Union as drivers ditch I-5. North 5 express lanes at Mercer, a collision still blocks the very end of that on-ramp. So drivers, you are able to merge early, but very slowly. And Mercer right now is backed up all the way to 5th Avenue. Seattle to Everett is down to 45 minutes. Bellevue to Everett is down to 40 minutes. Eastbound 90 still slows across Mercer Island. As far as I can tell, this is mostly due to just drivers lining up to get onto southbound 405, which is packed through Bellevue. In fact, Bellevue to Renton is going to take you a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, we're down to a half hour. You're still slow along South Center down past State Route 516, but close to freeway speeds. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway continues to improve. We're down to a half hour. All of this slowing is now from State Route 18 into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain. And and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our clearance savings spectacular, and you don't want to miss it. We're slashing prices on all 2025 hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Even bigger savings on floor models ready for delivery. And here's the best part, 0% interest financing through 2031. That's right, no interest for 5 years. Ends January 25th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Your best source for